All right. Excuse the stitches in my head. So I was watching this show, and essentially the show is you have it's a great social experiment actually, but it's a competition reality show called The Traders, and you have a room of people, 22 to 24 people that start out the game, and over the course of like 2.5 weeks, three of these faithfuls, or four, or even six of these faithfuls, have been turned into traders, and it's up to the faithfuls to find out who the traders are. So this is the second time now that they've had a psychic on the show. Now this one that they had, this time they eliminated her first because they said even if you don't believe in it, people are going to be more swayed towards what she has to say, and the names that she calls out. So she's a threat. So they got rid of her first. They murdered her first in this show, right? And I'm not like a big murder guy, like watching all that kind of stuff, but I don't know. It's a good show and a wonderful lesson in people and psychology and all different kind of stuff. But it's very entertaining at the same time. The U.S. version, they put the Housewives on the second season, so it's very entertaining. But this one, I was watching the New Zealand version. But in any case, it's like you said, even if you don't believe in it, you're going to be more inclined to go towards what she has to say because she has this claim of being a psychic. Now, as I said, this one seemed more genuine than I think it was the Traders Australia season 1, I think, that had another lady. But it prompted me to make this video because not just about the Claires. I'm going to go over the Claires. But it's just like this more of this guy. He's like, well, I don't believe in it. With such the snarky Western attitude that tends to go on. And the thing is, just because you don't believe in something doesn't mean that it's not true. Okay? Psychic abilities have been around since ancient times. However, Western society has done all it can do to remove us from the wisdom of our ancient ancestors. They have done everything they can do. They calcify your pineal gland with that bullshit ass fluoride that you don't even need. There's a whole documentary on YouTube, by the way, about not needing fluoride. Okay. And I hope that they keep it up now that I say that. Because earlier, I found out today, I kept seeing lately that YouTube will highlight the subscribe button. Okay, so if you have me full screen right now, you could try the experiment and like zoom out for a second. They highlight the subscribe button on certain creators' videos. And today I was watching and I was like, I wonder if it's like when he said the word subscribe or if it's just, random, right? It's the end of the video type of thing. So I go and I see it illuminate and I rewind. I go up to rewind to the beginning, skip through, I don't see it. But the minute he says subscribe at the end of the video, the thing illuminated and did like a little dance and like rainbow colors or something, right? It was like yellow and like, I don't know, sparkly and shit. And that just confirms what people have been saying for years as far as like certain videos being limited because of what is said. type of thing. Um, like before, I thought, okay, maybe it's the title, or the description, or people complained, or whatever. Like people were reporting the video or something. But this is like the same way that Google, who owns YouTube, by the way, the same way that Google scans your Gmail to ensure that there's, in their words, like no pedophilia. Essentially, they scan for predators. They scan your emails. It's like, yeah, if you thought you had a private Gmail account, you don't. You don't. So the way that they choose to scan people's emails without their permission in order, in the name of, I'm gonna have to call her back, in the name of, you know, what's the word? Sorry, the phone call distracted me. But that's confirmation. But the same way that they did that in the name of, trying to protect or save people type thing. Um, that's what they tell you is for. That's what they tell you. There's no way to verify that. Um, it's often like somebody told me, the government is always 30 years ahead of its citizens. It's always 30 years ahead. They suppress information. This is not new. Even the Bible is suppressed information. Like they've actually cut out chunks of the Bible and sold it back to you, and you think that you're running around here with real true wisdom. But in any case, back to what we're talking about, right? So actually that is relevant, because when you talk about this figure of Christ, you look at Christ's consciousness, not a physical human being. I'm talking about Christ's consciousness and the light energy that runs through you, right? There's definite linkages between, well, visions with Moses in the burning bush. They said he was on peyote, but either way, the man was having visions. A lot of figures in that book had visions. The Christ consciousness, again, I'm not talking about a physical person. I'm talking about the archetype or the energy of Christ consciousness as running through you type of thing. That in its own right is tapping into intuition and particular abilities that they claim that humans don't have, but we've heard about since ancient times. Why would it be written on the walls across cultures? I'm not talking about one society said this one thing one time. This is like 30 different societies, 30 different pockets over 30 different generations. Okay? Over thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of years. These ancestors and deities have told us and warned us and shown us the true capabilities of humans, which is way more than you think you can do. Some even talk about the comparisons between the X-Men and humans, right? A lot of the stories that they try to show you are sci-fi, quote unquote. If they label it sci-fi, quote unquote, sci-fi or fantasy, the vast majority of the time, 8 out of 10 times, I'm being generous by only saying 8, 9.5 out of 10 times, there's truth and validity to what they are showing you. As someone once said, when they're trying to prepare the consciousness, the programming of the people, they will put something in a movie. Once it comes out to TV, something that's shown to you regularly, they're embedding that same ideology into you so that you're diffused. So like if there was, like how they were pushing the zombie thing so much. If you were to see some instance of a zombie 30 years from now, technology's advanced, whatever, quote unquote advanced, it's advanced or whatever, and there's a zombie, you're not going to be so shocked and surprised because there's so many fucking movies and symbology and TV shows and books and podcasts and news and this and this and this and this and this and this and this, that when you finally do fucking see it, you're not gonna be that shook or shocked, or like it's already embedded in your consciousness to embrace this. Like with aliens, for 30 years again, the government's always 30 years ahead of its citizens. For decades, people lost their homes, their houses, their jobs, their kids, and their wife for running around talking about aliens. Some people lost their lives for saying that, oh, this is real. I saw this. I swear to you, I know it. I know it. I know it. They were persecuted for all this time. And now all of a sudden, the government's like, oh, yeah, by the way, aliens exist. Right? And I'm not talking about 2023. I'm talking about in 2020, they told y'all that. I think people forgot because it was like COVID, the murder hornets, riots, and then they were like, by the way, aliens exist. Like they just kind of threw it in there. You know what I'm saying? And now all of a sudden, 2023, you're seeing more and more and more stories and more sightings. Whether some of these sightings are true or false, to think that we are the only people in the entire fucking galaxy, you've got to be out of your mind. We can't even reach the end of our own ocean. We can't even get to the end of our own ocean. Okay? Think about that. They don't know what's at the bottom of the ocean. And you're telling me that they have the foresight to tell you what's out there in 30 damn different galaxies, in 30 billion different galaxies? Even within our own arena, even within our own universe, the Milky Way and all of that. Even within that star system, there's 11 different um galaxies that they can't even explain or get to. Like we can't even get to the end of our own damn universe. And you want to think that we're the only people in the entire galaxy. You've got to be out of your freaking mind. But that's another story for another day. We're here talking about psychics, right? I know it seems like I went all over the place, but all this shit is relevant. It's all relevant, okay? Um, right. So that same kind of the point is that you've been programmed since the 1950s to embrace the thought or the idea of aliens. So now when you see it in 2023, it's like, okay, cool, there's this thing over there. You know what I mean? Like some people might freak out, some people are embracing it, whatever it is. But at the end of the day, it's just like it's not this massive like you're gonna have a heart attack from seeing this being from outer space. You're actually probably wanting to see a being from outer space at this point. Okay. Um so yeah. So now I can say I don't know how the aliens came about from the Christ consciousness aspect. But the point is Western society has done everything they can. Calcify the pineal gland. The food is poisoned to make us lethargic. It's heavily processed. There was a whole movie about this actually. Somebody was just talking about this the other day. Um, Idiocracy, or it was a movie that was supposed to be a sci-fi comedy. There's that word sci-fi again. Oh, that's why I was probably talking about aliens. But either way, and zombies and shit. There was the plan, and it was going to be actually by, I believe it was 2025 or 2035. Because the movie was made in like 20, maybe 2006. I think somebody said 2005, 2006. I can't remember off the top of my head. Might have been 16. But either way, there was this movie, and they show essentially what that other cartoon had showed, where people were like leaned back. They were leaned back in these damn these round pods to get around, like people and big bellies, and like they couldn't even with the fucking 32-ounce 64-ounce drink next to them, and they couldn't even barely move. So when there was like an invasion or attack, you just had a bunch of people like literally chained to chairs. Like they're not chained, but they're too fat to get up, too lazy to get up. They had a screen in front of them sipping a big ass drink. And then the same thing in this movie where it was like the only people that could reproduce on the planet now were dumb people, because society, and you see it now where people are so like the age of having kids is getting pushed back and pushed back and pushed back and pushed back. You can see this for yourself. You can go check the stats and see not only how they destroyed the family unit, but now, and whatever that looks like to you, but destroying a family unit where it's like, oh, well, it's okay, it's acceptable just to have one parent in the home type of shit. And so You tear that apart, and now people are like, well, I don't want to have kids. Like, I think the average age for, and this was years ago, I checked this stat, so it's probably even worse now, but the average age for men to have kids now is like 27, and for women is 26. Previously to that, when they did the study before, it was like by age 24, by age 21, people were wanting to settle down and have kids. So it's not all about saying like you have to have kids, but there's been a lot of this narrative of you don't need a family, you don't need to be married, you don't need kids and children, because they have this global shit of wanting to reduce the world population. Your man Bill Gates stood up there on stage and told you, because of they claim that the resources are running out and there's so many mouths to feed. Remember, China had that rule: you weren't allowed to have more than two kids. You weren't allowed to have two kids. I think at one point. I'm trying to recall. It was a while back. It was some years ago. They introduced a mandate that you can only have one child per household. And then you have Bill Gates come out before the pandemic talking about reducing the world population. And then you have all this like gender war bullshit of like women being like, man, fuck man, I don't need no man, da 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 da. And like, matter of fact, I think he was talking about this same person that I'm referencing was talking about Megan Thee Stallion and how her whole brand is to portray and prime young girls to believe in a certain way of life. You know what I mean? Which is like the contradictory aspect of it is, you say you're an independent woman, don't depend on a man, but then you tell your fans to use their bodies and their looks in order to get money from a man. So you want them to use their looks and their body in order to get what they want from a man, to extract the money or whatever they're seeking from a man, sex, whatever, and then simultaneously saying that you're an independent woman who doesn't need a man. So those two things don't align, bro. Those two things don't come together. If you're independent, you wouldn't need a man. You wouldn't need to use your sex in order to gain a man. For what? Right? So you have the narrative on both sides of like, there was a blog post the other day with a man talking about more men are okay with being single because women have now been conditioned or programmed to be more masculine. They have to. In order to compete in the workplace, they have to be more masculine. In order to stay in the household, which doesn't have a man in the household or a father figure in the household type shit, whether that's an uncle, whether that's, whoever. There's no balance as far as the divine masculine and divine feminine energies. So the women are becoming super masculine and just heading towards that archetype. As a matter of fact, the men are heading in the opposite direction towards the divine feminine archetype. And there's no balance and harmony between the two. So I'm not saying you have to have a traditional household, but to have the two energies, to have a man in your child's life, whoever that is. You know what I mean? It could be, I mean, somebody you trust, obviously, not just some random motherfucker off the street. But I mean, if it's your uncle, if it's your cousin, if it's your brother, if you have one or whatever, or your best friend, you know what I'm saying? Um, but the narrative is, women don't need a man. Fuck him, and then men are at the same time being like, man, bitches, women ain't shit but hoes and tricks. That's a whole song. That was a whole movement and a whole song. Fucking degrading and downplaying the power of a woman by saying that women ain't shit but hoes and tricks. And y'all were dancing in the club to that shit. Y'all danced in the club to that song. Like, think about that shit. Women were dancing to that song, dog. Listen. So you have these different things here. Plus, they're already telling you that they want to reduce the world population. Okay? It's not a coincidence or mistake. They've in '93 they started using hip hop to infiltrate the youth. There was a whole ass meeting about it. A prominent rapper who was in the industry, I mean, at the height, at the peak, at the pinnacle of the industry during that time, told the story. about the whistleblower who told the story. Despite having signed an NDA, he came out 30 years later and said what needed to be said. But essentially, the record labels had invested in private prison systems, and in order to keep them full, they had to infiltrate hip hop. That was their whole plan, their whole purpose. Universal Music Group, who owns Interscope, and who was signed to Interscope, Death Row Records. And we all know the story of that shit. Okay? So, the whole point of all of that is to say that once they start putting it in your consciousness or in the TV or in the movies or whatever, you get used to it. It becomes normalized to you. So, um, man, I don't know. I feel like we're on topic yet off topic because I don't remember. Oh, I was telling y'all about the movie, right? So the movie, essentially, everybody's lazy. They're worn down. They're highly stressed out, glued to a fucking screen, glued to a screen, glued to a screen, glued to a screen. And the only people populating the earth at this point now is the people who are less intellectual because they don't read books. They don't write. They don't explore. They don't do art. They don't do nothing. All they do is sit there and get numbed out by a TV screen while they drink their fucking 64-ounce Pepsi or Coke, their Diet Coke, because they like to do that. They get fucking a triple cheeseburger, 2 triple cheeseburgers with 6 servings of fries and a cake, and then say, "Oh yeah, but give me a Diet Coke," which is even more terrible for you when you see the shit that the chemicals that are in Diet Coke. So, in any case, man, man, we going in today. I don't know. The energy's coming through. Another way for psychic ability is you can channel. I really do feel like I'm channeling energy today, personally, and I will get into that and the differences. But the point is, Western society has numbed us out, calcified the pineal gland so you can't tap in to your higher energies, can't tap in fully to your intuition, right? Then they've sat here and made a mockery of it with motherfucking Miss Cleo calling me now type bullshit. Okay. The 90s hotlines of call a psychic and all this foolishness. And then when you do see something that's like legit, like a CIA agent himself coming out and confirming the stories of how accurate he was predicting shit for the CIA and the police force, literally seeing things that other people said this is a fantasy, it doesn't exist, and he proved them wrong to the T, to the last detail, to the last drop. Operation Stargate, okay? And you still have people who are like, well, I don't believe in that shit. I don't believe in that, right? They don't believe in it because who's been training them? They've been trained and indoctrinated into a system that tells you that your power is outside of you. To wait for some man in the sky to give you all that you need and desire. As if the God energy, the light energy is not inside of you. You see that they don't talk about Christ consciousness. They talk about Christ like a being, as a human being. A human being with godlike energies, but they don't even ever mention the godlike energies. And why could, if you're made in God's image, then what the hell does that make you? The man went around and told you to follow him. He had disciples. If you look at his words, and I don't not, my family is a conservative Christian because they're from a Caribbean island, right? That's the norm. That's the standard. I don't follow that modality, but I do know enough about it. You know what I mean? I was raised in that shit, so I'm saying like you have the words of saying, follow. Basically, it's a damn guideline. A lot of occultists use the Bible for spells and rituals, because it breaks down what you need, not in a literal term. This is what happened. It's the symbology, the follow me aspect that means like you will find me inside of you type shit. This is how you can unlock the thing too. All right, but like I said, they've omitted chapters, whole chapters from that same book. So it's not the most reliable, and it's also you got to look at how they um, ripped off Kemet as well, which is ancient Egypt, quote unquote, to a lot of you. But you need to look at the stories and how so much was taken and reframed. And who was the ones that wrote and reframed the Bible? The Romans. Well, who was the ones that invaded and conquered ancient Egypt at the time? The Greeks and the Romans. The Romans modeled their shit after the Greeks. The Greeks are the ones that stole and robbed and raped and pillaged and plagiarized the ancient Egyptians. Because a lot of the Greeks, like the great philosophers of Socrates and Aristotle and all these people, they were all motherfucking initiates of Egyptian schools. They were all initiates of Kemetic schools. They took that shit and went and made their own spin on it, but mainly kept the real stuff, like the sacred geometry and different things. And society today is based off of the ancient Greeks, where the ancient Greeks, like Pythagoras, get credit for shit that Tahuti did. We know the reasons for this. So we're not going into all of that. But the point is, there was the Sumerians, the Nubians, the Kemites. The Greeks came in, stole from them, took their schools of thought and their lessons, including astrology, by the way, astronomy and astrology. So it's not just some pseudoscience that got made up along the way. Like this shit goes back to, it predates the Bible by 3,000 years. The timeline that the Bible talks about, this is 3,000 years prior to that. Okay? And you can even go back to Lemuria and Atlantis, which they try to pretend doesn't exist. So the point is, yeah, you got the Greek freaks that came and stole everything. And then the Romans, which we go off the Gregorian calendar here in the United States. That's based off of the Romans. So like the new year does not start in January. They changed that shit to fit themselves. You can go look it up. All right. Why would a new year start when everything is dead? It's in the springtime where everything is bountiful. Or in the case of ancient Egypt, it was in September when the harvest would come up. So you're thinking about times of bounty is when you create things new. All right. Not when everything is dead and at rest. There's a reason why wintertime is structured where it's a period of rest and reflection and things like that. But now, all right, so we 28 minutes in. So let's get it. I'm going to read this kind of beginner book. This is something I picked up years and years and years ago. I actually never even finished it, but yeah, it's called Psychic Navigator. If you do want to go check it out. But the reason why I'm whipping this out, because long story short, I'm watching this show and the lady was talking about she's clairvoyant. And again, they've made such a mockery of it and pulled us so far away from ourselves that we don't even try to recognize it as truth. And the thing is that the misconception in the house was like, oh, well, if she's clairvoyant, then she should see the future. Like, essentially, oh, well, she should know that her murder was coming, or she should know this, or whatever. And some people were looking forward to her predictions. But the thing is, like, it's not this thing of, oh, I can see the future type thing 30 years from now, and then act as if other elements, other outside, like nature is chaos. Okay, nature is chaos. The only constant is change. We've heard these things. So to act as if your prediction is going to be absolutely correct down to the last detail when there's outside elements working for 30 fucking years. And then you try to go back and say, oh, well, yeah, see, psychics aren't real. Psychics aren't real. That's absolutely ridiculous. That's ridiculous to think that other elements are not at play. So, anyways, um, yeah, let's get this. So there's five clairs. This one talks about three of them. I'll briefly mention the other two, and yeah, then I'll explain more. Yeah, I'll read this first. I'll read this first. All right, so they're very brief. Let's hear. Clairsentience, or clear feeling, is the inner sense of knowing. It's one of the more familiar psychic strengths and relatively easy to develop and access. Have you ever walked into a room where an argument recently took place and you just felt it? When energy lingers on, you end up sensing the emotions that led to the argument through your clairsentient ability. Let me put this here. Check. Oh, that's too low. Never mind. I was saying because I'm like all up on the mic. But anyways, um, in other words, you feel the turbulent negative energy of that recent altercation. That's absolutely true. Like if you walk into a room, you can feel that shit, man. If you go into a place that people claim is haunted or whatever, you can kind of feel like a malice kind of energy. You can feel, and it's not just power of suggestion or whatever bullshit. This is legitimately, well, I guess, apparently, maybe not everybody is tapped into this ability. So I can't say obviously, but I don't know. It's just crazy to me to think that people can't feel the energy in a room. Like, you could feel it though. Like for instance, say something less sinister. Say you go into a room like a conference room or a networking event, and it feels awkward, right? Or like these two people just said this, like this person went and said this, and this about them to this group of people, and then this person went and was talking shit about that person to the other group of people, and you're there in the middle. It might feel awkward. You can feel that tension and that energy. So not just between people, but just if you even walk into a room, like, yo, this feels awkward, like something don't feel right, or maybe you feel like, oh, there's like a hidden camera in here or something, you know what I mean, something like that. um so anyways, you feel the turbulent negative energy of that recent altercation, and comment below if you know what I'm talking about, or if you've had this happen to you. Here's another example. Let's say you're introduced to someone for the first time and you immediately get an uneasy feeling. You just know you're not really going to bond with that person. What's actually happening is that you're receiving thoughts and feelings from that person's aura that are then transmitted through your abdominal area, resulting in what we so often call a gut feeling, which is a form of clairsentience. There you go. Let's see here. Indicators of being clairsentient. Are your feelings hurt easily? When sitting in a room, can you feel it if the furniture isn't positioned right for the room's energy? When meeting others, do you intuitively know that something is wrong even though they appear happy? That's a big one. When you're driving, do you sense when you should take a different street than normal, only to find out later that there was a terrible traffic jam on the original route? Are you the person on your original route? Sorry. Are you the person everyone goes to when they're feeling down or when they need to get something off their chest? These are all potential signs of a clairsentient sensitivity. Many people who are feelers will also receive other people's stuff or information outside of themselves. If your natural psychic inclination is to feel, it's also quite probable that you'll pick up vibrations from other people, which will have an effect on your own outlook. I'd like to make a cautionary note here. If you're usually an upbeat kind of person, and for some reason you start feeling down even though there's nothing happening around you to cause this, try approaching it from a different angle. Instead of asking yourself, what's wrong with me? Try asking, who's wrong with me? That's a good point. You see, you might actually be tuning in to the feelings or vibrations from someone else without even knowing it. But your psychic abilities want to help you. So the next time this happens, stop for a few minutes, focus on your solar plexus area, and ask yourself, whose feelings are these? As you do so, see if an image or someone comes to mind. It could be anyone, a friend, a neighbor, a coworker, or even your mom. Try calling them to ask how they are. You may be surprised to find out that he or she is the one feeling down. If you're clairsentient, you'll just naturally pick up on other people's emotions. And this is more than empathy, by the way. I mean, you could use empathy to maybe strengthen this side, but it's definitely more than just, oh, I kind of feel for you, oh, or like I have sympathy for you type shit. This is deeper than that. And by the way, the solar plexus is like right here. So you got your heart and you got your sacral above the pelvis, right? The sacral's here. The solar plexus is here. So you want to really, below this Polaroid shit, you want to really, we talked about the solar plexus a little bit in the last video or 2 videos ago, the one about the root chakra and overcoming trauma. And um, yeah, it's about your personal will and your confidence as well, but your personal will and taking your power back. So that's why the author is saying to focus on the solar plexus, so you can focus on, is this me? Is this my true self? Is this, what's happening? Or is it somebody else's baggage and their bullshit? All right, so let's see here. We live in a society that's less prone to hugging, touching, or embracing each other. But clairsentients need to touch and feel things physically. The hands are wonderful receptors of energy. So the next time you meet someone new, look into their eyes, reach out and shake their hand, and make a real connection. And when you meet a friend, give them a big hug. Just being aware of your clairsentience and the subtle ways you receive information will help you in so many ways, and will also provide a wonderful tool to help find the answers to those unanswered questions. And that too, um, shit. Like even crystal shopping. I never crystal shop online because I gotta feel the shit. I gotta be able to know like the energy off of it. You can feel and touch things and feel the energy. Like that's the thing too. When you break up with an ex, you don't need to hold on to their shit. You need to let that shit go. You gotta let it go. Because some people say throw it in a dumpster because it's not even just about what I'm about to talk about, but it's just the act of letting go and throwing their shit away. You don't double back. There ain't no let's go back over there and see what happened. No, 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 no. That always ends out worse. You give it a second chance and it's usually worse. I mean, you see people get remarried after 30 years apart. That might be different because people have grown and they've, you know, elevated in different ways apart from each other. But if you just broke up 5 months ago or 9 months ago and you're like, oh, let's get back together, no, 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 no. No, 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 no. There's a reason why that person was removed from your life. Trust in that. You find somebody better. Trust in that. They seem like your whole world. And you'll never ever ever find anybody but them. If you keep telling yourself that, right? But no, just let it go. They were moved for a reason. They were holding you back. If they weren't holding you back in some regard, there's no reason why they would be out of your life. Or if you weren't holding them back in some regard too. Because it's not just all about you, right? So if there was something about the energy that was tying y'all together and to the detriment of your growth, or even depending on who they are, because they might be a succubus of damn self, but or incubus. So depending on who they are though, they might be y'all's connection might be holding you back type thing. It might be too heavy to handle at times, especially if you've not developed your gifts and your abilities. So um yeah, this whole thing about who's wrong with me. I mean, you might be turning the feelings or vibration from somebody else without even knowing it. But also the physical touch and knowing like when something feels off. Oh, so that's why I was talking about the exes stuff. Is like get rid of it because things carry energy. Everything that you see, this hard ass table, right, is molecules vibrating at a different speed, which is making it appear as a solid. Therefore, it's vibrating frequency. It's vibrating energy. Energy changes forms. You don't destroy it. Energy cannot be destroyed. It's a law. So when you look at that, you look at the fact of that, it just takes different forms. And so holding on to somebody's energy that they've put time or they've invested even mind waves into, they've vibrationally put themselves into, to hold on to that or even sometimes from a person you don't know. Like at a metaphysical bookstore, there'll be all these like infused candles, or it's Reiki infused, but it's like you don't know who the fuck is the one doing that Reiki. You know what I'm saying? Like you got to be very careful about that. So you're bringing in these energies. Whenever you bring something into your home, you should be putting your energy on it. You know what I'm saying? Um, Now sometimes you order something from Amazon. I'm not saying like blow on the toilet paper and infuse it with your energy or whatever. You can, I guess, but things like that you're not thinking about. But I'm talking about like stuff that is special to you. You're gonna hold on to for a long time. Like you buy a crystal, you buy a singing bowl, you know get a piece of artwork, even like whatever it is. You want to welcome that into your home, but infuse it with your intentions and your own energy, type of thing. So having your ex's dusty ass, whatever, collecting dust in your house under your bed. I know one person, she said she kept her ex's stuff under her bed. Like, what are you doing? Let that shit go. You know what I mean? Like that energy is just holding you down. It's holding you captive, really. So these are things people don't know when they don't have their pineal gland open. So another way is like, again, with this fluoride thing, it's in the water. There's pharmaceuticals in the water as well, the tap water, and bottled water has fluoride in it for the most part. So fluoride is not a necessity. There's a whole documentary on there, like I mentioned, but that's one way to decalcify your pineal gland is stop drinking Dasani and Aquafina and all this shit with fluoride in it. All right, get you a zero water filter, or who's the other company that I use? Uh, Dang, their name is eluding me right now. Extra? No, let me get this name for y'all because it's very important. But I use like non-fluoridated toothpaste as well. You know what I mean? Because it's like, and I'm not talking about this nasty, natural, whatever, whatever. I don't know. Some of them are like weird, but I'm not talking about that. I got it's like a regular, normal toothpaste. It's this guy, this white guy with a beard, and he been making toothpaste since like the 1800s. So that was before they can put all these unnecessary chemicals and junk into your body, right? Let me find this real quick though, because this is important. I buy the thing every month and I always forget. Oh, Epic water filter. I didn't even have to fully search it. It just came to me. Epic water filter. Check that out. So these are ways that you can decalcify the pineal gland so that you can start to open up to these abilities. Okay. The next one we're going to get into talks is more about that third eye center in your pineal gland and how crucial that is. So a lot of people too, like they'll say in order to tap in a little bit, you want to meditate and that kind of thing. Honestly, the best thing you can do is go into a trance. I talked about it in the last that same video about overcoming trauma. I talked about the difference between meditation, mindfulness, and going into a trance. Now, shamanic trance is like, whereas meditation is a thought comes to me like a leaf going down a stream, right? So a thought comes to me and I let it go. A thought comes to me and I let it go, let it go, let it go, let it go. Right? You don't want to keep going on with your thoughts. That's meditation. You're trying to clear the mind, calm the mind. A shamanic trance, known as journeying, you want to follow these leaves. If you see a hawk appear in your mind's eye, you want to follow that hawk and see where that hawk leads you. They might lead you down to a snake that leads you to a cave type shit. Okay, and what's in the other side of that cave? And you want to take these lessons, keep a notebook by you. And when you're done with the journey, which is usually done like it's a hypnotic state where they use drums and that type of thing. Like this is serious shit. But I mean, this is like from ancient times as well. Ancient times where there was ceremony and there was ritual, not satanic ritual or demonic or whatever thing that they got y'all hyped up about. Legit rituals and intentions where they sat around a fire and they beat the drum to go into a hypnotic stance. Sometimes they did use Moses used peyote. Sometimes they use ayahuasca. Sometimes they use, mushrooms and all these different kinds of things. And you can use if you use enough cannabis, you can really do it. And you can actually do it sober as well, where you will go into that deep state where you'll feel like you're high. you will come out of it feeling like you're high because it's that powerful of a thing. So, you can go on I don't really like all the YouTube ones, but you can go on YouTube and type in uh shamanic drumming or whatever, and it'll be like a 10-hour thing that you could sit there with. Or you could do a guided shamanic journey, which those ones might be more helpful if you're starting out. But you could do like a guided meditation, not guided meditation, guided journey, to go deeper into you and tap into these capabilities and abilities. So the next thing we got here. Oh, and so the affirmation for that last one though, the clairsentient, the first one we started with, is I am beginning to develop my clairsentient ability. I safely receive and feel only what is best for me as well as others. All right, so clairvoyance now. So this was the whole thing that prompted this whole video. All right, because again, they doing this whole like Miss Cleo call me now bullshit, and they call that clairvoyance. They think that if you're a clairvoyant, you can see into the future. That's not at all what it means. Like these psychic capabilities, again, you can strengthen it. Like the guy that was hired for the CIA, when he went and proved something that everybody said was impossible, he knew the exact specifications of the damn submarine, Operation Stargate. He wasn't predicting the future like 30 years from now this is going to happen. It was more of like a give me a moment, let me tap in, and he visualized in his mind's eye what it really was. And he even got down to the date. He said in 112 days this is going to happen. In 114 days they went and verified, and everything he said was correct. So if you don't want to believe Eastern philosophies or ancient African civilization, which started all of civilization, and a lot of these ancient societies in Peru and different things, you can go and listen to the CIA. Now, they're the ones that came up with the term conspiracy theory or conspiracy theorist because obviously people were investigating too much. All right, people were looking and noticing things, and they had to discredit them somehow. But it's funny how you're a conspiracy theorist until 5 to 10 years later when the shit comes true. Another video. All right, clairvoyance. So, clairvoyance or clear seeing means that your psychic messages are received via images, pictures, symbols, and colors. It's not about seeing in the physical sense with your eyes. Rather, it's about using your inner eye, which is better known as the third eye. Man, I'm not feeling any of these songs right now. All right, let's go with this. This feels good. I'm gonna turn it down though. Anyways, many psychics and mediums see in this way. Sometimes you may notice one of them looking away when they're giving a reading. For example, I often look over the left shoulder of my client when I link with those who have passed on. It's not that I'm being rude, it's more that I'm looking at a blank screen with my third eye, which I refer to as my psychic screen. It's almost as if a mini movie is playing out right in front of me. That's the author saying that, right? So now, sometimes the images can be very fleeting or subtle, which is why most people don't even notice them. Dog, I had a crazy ass vision last night when I closed my eyes. Like just a pure image, right? Like I went and did an art piece on it. And it was like, it was a lot of symbolism, symbology, and different things going on within it. But the point what I'm saying is like it happened within like 3 to 4 seconds. And then I was able to get a whole meaning and a whole message from that brief thing. But if I wasn't on my path the way that I am, or I haven't developed my gift, or I haven't embraced the unknown, like just because you can't prove something under a microscope doesn't mean it doesn't exist. So if I would have kept on with being a cynic and being, skepticism and things like that, I would have missed it. Something so profound that's coming up very soon. Like I would have missed the whole thing. So what I say about that is, like he said, sometimes the images can be very fleeting or subtle, which is why most people don't even notice them because they're not tapped in and not tuned in. All right. Many people also think that some sort of other dimension is going to open up right in front of them with the clairvoyant image. In reality, clairvoyance is more about receiving images, words, or symbols that have their own unique interpretation for each and every one of us. Through time and practice, the same symbols will repeatedly come back to you, and you'll learn how to interpret them by drawing your own analogies. It's important to make note of these symbols in your journal and see if they feel right to you. They'll become known they'll become your own psychic dictionary for interpreting clairvoyant information. He said psychic dictionary in quotes, by the way. Um, Indicators of being clairvoyant. Do you often experience vivid, highly memorable dreams? I talked about that in the last video. About there's some dreams that I can remember from like 5 or 10 years ago. Not reoccurring dreams. I'm talking about one instance. Like shit's still vivid. I can still look back and take the message from it. So, right. Do you often experience vivid, highly memorable dreams? Are you the sort of person who doesn't wear a watch because you have the ability to actually visualize what time it is? Are you good at picturing exactly where to place furniture to enhance the energy or design of your home or office? Have you ever looked at others and known that they were coming down with something, even though they appeared quite healthy? When talking to people on the phone, can you envision what they might look like, even though you never met them before? If you answered yes to any, I had a glitch. uh, I'm not an AI. At least I don't. No, I'm not an AI. Anyways, if you answered yes to any of these questions, then you could already possess some clairvoyant ability. Don't let popular misconceptions hinder your personal development. Some people can find the unknown a little scary, and the word clairvoyant itself can act as a deterrent. What are we talking about? People have become influenced by TV shows that often portray clairvoyance with these cliche-ridden, such as smoke-filled rooms. Oh, with these cliche-ridden images, such as smoke-filled rooms, turbans, and crystal balls. Good lord! Like even on Scooby Doo, man, I just immediately saw a woman. See, this is it happening in real time. I just saw a woman back in the Scooby Doo era where they're kind of like programming you from a kid to think that it's all goofy foo type of stuff, right? Um, but yeah, she had the turban and the crystal ball and like this like uh, circus tent type of thing, and was trying to get him the information and whatever. But you've seen that image a bunch of times, not just in cartoons for kids, but in actual live action shows for adults too. So again, that's programming. It's television programming. That's literally what it's called. Okay. So now, people have been influenced by TV shows that often portray, yeah, these smoke-filled rooms, turbans, and crystal balls. I think it's time to dispel those myths. Clairvoyance, clairvoyance is just seeing through your mind's eye. Clairvoyance is just seeing through your mind's eye. To be a little more specific, the reception area for this ability is situated between your brows, the third eye chakra, and is associated with the pituitary gland. People who demonstrate a strong tendency toward being clairvoyant often want to spend time in big, open, well lit spaces. Equally, when they travel, they're the ones who have to see it all. They never want to miss anything. As with clairsentience, once you know how to access the specific reception area, interpret your own symbols and images, the benefits of using your clairvoyant ability can help you as well as others. Boom. Then he goes into like a little personal story where essentially he had a client walk in and he saw like an X on a laptop. And he asked the lady if she had just bought a laptop. And she said, "Oh, I was actually going to go after this reading." And he said, "Well, make sure you get it checked out. Whatever you do, make sure you get it checked out." So she took it to a friend, like a computer tech friend of hers. And the friend discovered that the computer had all these like used parts and wasn't going to last more than 6 months. So that little tidbit saved her from making a bad investment. And who knows how much the scam artist or whoever, and maybe they weren't a scam artist, maybe the person genuinely was replacing parts on their own and they knew the thing was going to conk out. But either way, you know, um, yeah, somebody definitely saved her from a bad investment type of thing. And it's like for him, he knows that the symbol X is his symbol. So he's done it enough times that he knows, like, when he sees that, okay, that's keying in on something, right? And he said this to the woman before she sat down, so it wasn't like one of those, oh, I think it's the letter L, and then you're waiting to see how the person reacts. Oh, I mean Z, yeah, it was the letter M, yeah, yeah, yeah. Not like that. The woman hadn't even sat down yet. So, in any case, let's go to this next one, clairaudience. I got this shit. I love this one. But I do clairsentience is, I do resonate with that as well. I don't really resonate with clairvoyant too much. And then the other clair, I don't remember how to pronounce it, but essentially it's the one of smelling. So they pick up a lot of stuff through scent. A lot of stuff through scent. So yeah. But this book talks about these main three, and then there's the fifth one, which is also one of the ones I love, and the one I have is very hard to find information about, is claircognizance. So claircognizance is exactly, cognizant is, mental, um being aware of something. So the claircognizance is like, I just know shit. I just know it. Like, I don't know how I know it. I just know it, bro. I know this is gonna happen, and it does happen. I just know it. Like, I can think of an artist, a random celebrity from the 2000s, right? Random ass celebrity from 2000s. And 2 days later, they'll be trending on Twitter. Like 2 days, like literally, I can time it. Like, it happens all the fucking time. I'll just get a random name like Kelly Clarkson pop in my mind. And then 2 days later, she's on. I saw it happen. You know what I mean? Or some random dude from NSYNC or whatever. And then boom, 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 boom. And I'm not even on Twitter all the time, right? Especially now that it's X or whatever. But when I used to be on there, like, I would see this shit all the time. It would start to trend. So it's like, it could be messages like that. It could be like, I just know stuff, man. I don't know. I just know it. Like that Diddy shit, I've been knowing that shit was gonna happen. I didn't know it was so severe, but this is what I'm talking about. I might not have every, like, down to the detail type of inclination, but I just know, like, it was always something that just didn't sit right. But it was also something that, well, part of it was like, I picked up on behaviors of his anyway, not having to do with this. I'm talking about just like the way he moved, like how he say one thing to the people and try to act like he's down with one movement, but then on the flip side, he's doing something completely different. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's moving in a different way. So I already had picked up on that. But as far as um the SA stuff, a lot of the stuff that's going on right now and the trafficking things, yeah, I knew that he was gonna get caught up, because I knew about that shit with Pop. I knew about that stuff with Pop. You know, it was interesting to me that not a lot of people ever talked about it or investigated it further. Well, not weird to me, because I knew people were protecting certain people, but I just, I mean, just people in the general populace, they were never talking about him and his involvement, and it was always very interesting, very strange. But in any case, I knew that motherfucker was gonna go down like 6 months ago, more than 6 months. I'm bad with time, but I've been known that. I felt it. So, anyways, clairaudience now, right? Clairaudience, or the inner sense of hearing, is the ability to hear names, dates, certain sayings, and yes, even songs and melodies. When you hear subjectively, that is, in your mind, you'll become aware of sounds as though they're words spoken in your own voice. Now that's the thing too. I had thought of this earlier. Like, clairaudient is it when you first are coming into it, it's a little difficult because it'll sound like you, but you'll start to differentiate between you, like you talking to you, meaning um, your negative self talk or whatever, right? In comparison to clairaudience, like when you're getting a download or a message from your guides or your ancestors, right? Or just like your higher self, just knowing like, hey, watch out for this or check that or something's not right about this. And the thing is, the right side of your brain we know is linked to creativity, right? And intuition. It's the divine feminine aspect. The left brain is associated with logic and thinking and reasoning and judgment, right? But the thing people don't recognize is that it's actually crossed. So it's like the right hemisphere of your brain is the left brain, the logical and all of that firing. It fires on the right hand hemisphere of your brain. And then the is vice versa, right? So now the logic, I mean the intuition and the creativity and all of that, the receptiveness of the divine feminine is lighting up on the left hemisphere of your brain in a scan, right? So um why I say that is like for me, I hear my regular voice like me just talking to myself or just, I don't know, I always have thoughts and shit, songs, whatever. That's firing on this side because it's more of the logical brain, right? But when I'm getting a intuitive hit, a download, a message, like the clairaudient message, I'm tapping into some shit, it comes on the left hand hemisphere, the left hand side of my brain, the left hemisphere, which is where intuition fires, right? So I feel the shit within my own self. It's like I can almost feel it. It's like a different sensation than the normal talking of like, I don't know, self doubt, or you're just day to day. Oh, I got to go to the store. I got to go to Kroger and do this, and this, right? Like that is on a different side. And it's a different tonality as well. It's a different tonality. So that's something to look out for. If you have clear audience, it's going to be like almost an ethereal type of voice, however that manifests for you. But it's like an ethereal type of lighter kind of voice, cleaner vibration for sure. But it's definitely like it's just like a quick boom, like a quick word, like you just hear something. You know what I mean? Like if it happens on this live, I'll point it out. But yeah, sometimes, yeah, when I read tarot, so maybe you'll see it because this is gonna end up being like a 2 hour, 3 hour thing, or maybe another hour. We just hit 102. Um, man, I never seen my tattoos like this. That's cool. I need some more. But anyways, when I read my tarot, Joan, you'll see where I'm like, oh, I hear da 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 da, or Cleo Ra, who I showed y'all last time. Um, in that trauma video. I guess the time before, but in that trauma video, she'll be like, I'm hearing da 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 da. Soul Source does it. So a lot of us intuitive readers, we have that kind of gift of clear audience. One second. I like keeping the windows open. Well, first off, you should keep the windows open as much as you can to clear out the stale air and the pollutants and just get some fresh energy, some natural energy. It's not healthy to be recycling air with your AC all day. Some people go from an air conditioned house to an air conditioned car to an air conditioned office, back to an air conditioned car, back to an air conditioned house. You need fresh air. They even take their lunch break indoors. Think about that. So these people are not grounded. They don't go outside. They don't put their feet in the grass. You know what I'm saying? They don't take time to just like look out and do a tree meditation and appreciate and just observe the trees or observe the clouds. They can't even see clouds because they're in the office right now looking at the ceiling, bro. This is what happens. And this is they live every day of their lives that way. Then you want to know why people are so sick and why everybody's fucking dying. So earlier though. Yeah, we all die, but I'm talking about dying before their true time, like before older civilizations used to die. And I'm not talking about the the medieval times where these people didn't shower, they didn't bathe, okay? They weren't clean. All right. Africans had to teach these people how to wash themselves. But anyways, you have that, and then all of the murder and the violence and the rape and all the stuff that they had going on during the medieval times, the torture and all of that. So yeah, there wasn't no fresh air. There wasn't nothing to, really inhale with that. But when we look at ancient times, how when people were in harmony and balanced and in balance, not imbalance, but in balance. Um, these times where people were tapped in and tuned in. This is where they had abilities themselves. All right. So definitely get as much fresh air as you can, or at least open your windows if your windows open. I've lived in places that had no windows, literally. So, um, yeah. And I know, like, for me, it's allergy season too. Allergies, that's also tied to trauma, but that's another video I could do. Um, so for some years, I was actually good again, and then things came up, and now I got to rework all that stuff. But the point is that even though it's allergy season, with the windows open, it'll actually kind of irritate them less because you're getting a circulation compared to when you close down the windows and all the pollen is trapped in your house. So, anyway, some things to look at, think about, implement for sure. Uh, oh shoot. So let's get into the actual clear audience. I know I've been talking and talking and talking, but all of this is important. Um, so the point why we got onto that whole thing is, um, clear clear audience clear audience can be a little confusing when determining if these are your own or psychic thoughts. With practice, you'll be able to differentiate between the two. It's also important to point out that for some people, It's also important to point out that some people hear objectively, which is outside themselves. For instance, have you ever heard your name called out only to find that no one was there? It may be from a loved one in spirit, or it can be someone here who may be thinking of you. If you feel it's the latter, try calling that person to say hi. They'll probably tell you that they were just thinking of you. May you ever do that too? Like, yo, I was just about to text, like, I was just about to call you. I was just about to text you. And then boom, that person is right there on your line. These are things you could pick up on. It's not just coincidence. Coincidence is bullshit. All right, things are happening for a reason. The nature has order to it as well as chaos. It's not just, oh, it just happened. Oh, whatever. As most people will have you believe. All right. Another good example of clairaudience is when you hear a song playing in your head. That was cool how it stopped, right? It said stop for a minute, and that song cut right then. Anyways, stop for a minute and make a mental note of what the song is. Then, when you have a chance, listen to the words. All too often, there will be a message of encouragement or advice for you, or for someone close to you who needs a little lift. This ability can be accessed through the throat reception area, the throat chakra, and clairaudience can increase their psychic listening strength by focusing on this area. Indicators of being clairaudient. By the way, it just popped in my mind. I forgot to tell y'all or finish my thought, right? It's raining right now. It's purifying. It's cleansing. And this is like a nice, steady storm. It's beautiful. The rain is beautiful. I hate cold rain, but the rain right now it looks good, right? Um, and we started this session with a rain stick. A lot of shit is coming and cleansing. A lot of rebirth and death is happening right now, especially with this solar eclipse. When you go and do the research on it from both sides, from the occult side and also from the anti-occult side, when you look at the powers, and the omen that it used to represent in certain civilizations back in the day, but also civilizations that recognize the power of it. Death It's not always physical death. It could be death and rebirth. And right now, I was just watching a spiritualist right before this live, and she was talking about within yourself having a spiritual rebirth right now. So tapping into these energies and tapping into these capabilities definitely is something to implement in your spiritual practice right now, if you're not already, or to strengthen the ones that you do have, right? So now let's get back to clairaudient, or indicators of being clairaudient. Um, do you always think inside your head instead of out loud? Can you tell when someone isn't telling the truth? Hell yes. That is so infuriating, bro. It's so infuriating because man, I'll get back to that in a minute. Are you attracted to loud places? Do you usually have music playing in the background no matter what you're doing? Yes. Do you ever hear what others are thinking? Not yet, but I'm gonna get there. If you answered yes to any of these questions, then you probably pay great attention to that still small voice that you so often hear. You know that so many of us don't listen to enough. Oh, wait, the one that so many of us don't listen to enough, only to regret it later. The first stage of developing your clairaudient ability must begin by differentiating psychic information from everyday thoughts and mind chatter. So, this is what I was talking about with the side of your brain that feels like left side stuff. You know what I mean? Logic, think, judgment, blah, 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 blah. Right? And then on the other side is like this light, kind of ethereal voice with a different tonality, which just feels like it came from somewhere out there. It feels like it came from above, like your ancestors or whoever, your guides and things. It does not feel like it came from you. So this is something to look out for when you're trying to differentiate this skill. Or this gift rather. So it's both. Anyways, to do this, see right there. To do this, you'll need to practice improving your clairaudience. Over time, the information you receive via your inner voice will start to flow and will develop a sharper sense of clarity. Generally, this information should have a positive tone to it. If you're receiving negative information, then it's likely that some degree of interference is coming from your own mind. In this instance, you should consider checking to see if there are emotional or psychological issues that need addressing before you continue. One very important piece of information I give to people who are beginning their psychic training is this. When you believe that you're receiving psychic information, step back and ask yourself, is this information coming to me or from me? By doing so, you'll remain subjective at all times. As you develop further, you'll be able to access your psychic hearing to assist you in many areas of your life. If clairaudience is your strength, then try the following exercises. And again, most of these exercises he gives is about like laying down, being comfortable, the meditation aspect. But like we were talking about earlier, shamanic journeying could be very, very, very powerful for you, because now you're not just letting the thought go and letting it escape. You're documenting that shit. You're following it, and then you're having your journal to write about it afterwards. Same with your dreams. In that same spiritualist video I was watching, there was people in her chat that was talking about make sure to put a dream journal next to you, and she touched on the same thing. So again, it's actually a new moon on the same day that solar eclipse is happening, and it's Mercury retrograde, Mercury retrograde, which is about communication, is about the throat chakra, like we talked about. Okay, especially with this skill, so communication is gonna be hampered, right? And they have these state of emergencies that have been listed in Texas and all this shit, talking about communications and electricity and different things being down, which is like, what the hell does a solar eclipse have to do with all this? Why y'all trying to prep all these emergency services? Now, for the anti-occultists, they're like, they're planning something, da 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 da. For the occultist side, they're sitting here like they want you to stay inside. They're trying to, fear monger so that you stay inside and don't get the proper energy and the transformation that you need. Obviously, it's up to you, but you got to consider the source. All right, so you got to consider the source. Who is the one? Who are the ones telling you to stay indoors? And ask yourself: are those people that you really want to continue to trust? Are those people the ones that are tapped into their abilities and their capabilities? This is a perfect time for you to use your intuition and your psychic capabilities to determine what is right for you. For instance, over the summer when I was in Barbados, right, I did a short video on a cell phone. Um, that day, I was supposed to go to one of the biggest. It's the biggest festival every year. It's called Crop Over, right? And back in the day, it was for celebrating when they would harvest. When we talked about harvesting earlier and bounty and starting your new year, then they would harvest sugarcane. And at the end of the crop season, the crop being over, they would have this big ass celebration, big festival, like to the point where now it's actually an official holiday. They named the day after it official holiday because they knew people wasn't going to come to work. Ain't no way that after everything you just did and the partying and all the bacchanal and all of that, like jumping up in the street, and Juve and all that kind of stuff. You can look all that up, but jumping up in a band and all that you coming to work the next day. So they made it a national holiday. I say all this to say, I got there the day of the last day. It was called Kadooment Day, and I had an opportunity to go. And I was sitting. I got there. I had an afternoon flight, so I had enough time to go. But I was sitting there, and I was like, I don't know if I really want to go. Like, I came down here partially for this, especially as a photographer, whatever. But something's telling me not to go, not to go. Right as I'm debating about it, and I'm kind of determining now I'm not gonna go. I go on WhatsApp, and my cousin texts me. Well, actually, I saw her story first, and then she texts me and telling me that they were shooting down there, that they were just now shooting, and she was right there. Like, she's here. And matter of fact, the people that some cousins of the family that I had met 2 days later, actually, through another family member, I went to the pool hall with them, and one of the dudes was like, "Oh," I was like, "Yeah, I got the video of it." And he was like, "Oh, can you send it to me? Can you send it to me?" And when he looked at the video, they were right here on the wall, and the shooting was like right here. So my cousin was actually over here. So had I left my cousin with my camera, because I'm a photographer, and been like, "Oh, let me go over here real quick," because she's right here, ain't nothing wrong. I can catch back up with her, or whatever. You never know what could happen. I would have been involved in that bullshit. And the thing is, 4 innocent people got shot because this man had a beef and a vendetta with some other guy, and he sat all day at his sister's fucking rum shop, drinking, 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 and then he said, "Oh, I know he gonna be down there." So he went home, changed clothes. My man went and changed clothes for a murder. Went and changed clothes to shoot a man. All right, came out and then bop bop bop. But then 4 innocent people. One guy got hit in his stomach. One lady got hit in her leg. Like, that was that close. And part of the reason why I went was like got those specific dates is because I knew that on the 7th, Kadooment Day, the festival is going to end. Kadooment Day is the grand celebration. I wanted to be there. And I got there and I said, I don't know, man. Something is not, I don't really know if I should go. I don't really want to go, but I'm like, but why not? And I'm thinking something's wrong with me, but I'm going back and forth with myself. Partially from here and partially from here. And then boom, all this shit happened. And when you saw the police response, I mean, they had military guys in camo with full ass like M16 rifles and shit. It was crazy, man. It's crazy. And like, Barbados is becoming so much like the Western world, man. It's really sad to see. It's really, really sad to see. Because we were never like that. Like, my cousin even talked about a different one. We were walking one night. We were sitting out on the porch one night out there. And he was like, man, he was like, that's one thing about Barbados. It don't matter if it's the meanest, toughest looking guy you see. He gonna walk past you. He gonna say good night. Like, he gonna acknowledge you. Every time you pass somebody, you say afternoon, good night, good morning, right? You acknowledge them as a human being, as a person. It's a beautiful thing. But now you don't even have people doing that. They just pass you on the street. They fucking mean mug you. You know, it's a lot more gangs and shootings and violence and drugs and stuff going down there now. So as great as Rihanna was for the country, it's also like it brings a lot there too. Because Oprah and all of them want to hang out there too. So in any case, another video. We keep going on stuff that's yeah, yeah, yeah. I felt that. Y'all felt that energy though. I felt that kind of like tense, kind of deep thing, and then like I laughed it off, and the energy kind of went away. Another thing you could do is clap your hands, and that's supposed to dissipate negative energy. Um, the sister I was watching before the live, she had a sistrum, and she would shake it, but I have like a bell that I use or like shaman's rattles, and it's crazy because hold up. Oh, no, it's not behind me no more. Something is missing. Anyways, I gotta find that, but um, I hid it from myself somehow. Right when I was like, she said that I was like, I put in the chat. I was like, oh yes, I use a shaman's rattle and a bell too. And then right as I hit send, she was talking about how she was like, you can also use a Native American turtle shell rattle, and that's the exact one I had in my mind because that's my shaman's rattle. I have another one that's like a little egg shape, but that was the exact one I had thought of. You understand? So this is how this shit works. Like right then, she said the exact thing that I had pictured in my mind that I myself personally own. So that's a clear indication from my ancestors and my guides, but it's also like she always comes around, or I always am drawn to her videos at the right time. I don't watch everything she put out, but I watch the right ones at the right message at the right time. So this is like a real world example you can see right now. You know, um, man, I just recently moved some stuff around, so I can't remember where it is. But you could use that. You could clap. You could use rattles. You could use singing bowls. This right here. This right here is a rain stick, which again, it's actually raining now. And it's like I said, it's cleansing, it's pure, it's purifying, everything like that. And then too, I was about to say, um, this is actually made in Bali. I didn't get it from Bali, but it was made there. Um, shit, what was I saying? Oh, the cleansing and the purifying, right? So water definitely has that element. Water is also tied to emotion. It's also tied to the moon. It's going to be a new moon on the same day as that eclipse, right? But say all that to say, she had also mentioned taking spiritual baths. Yes, at least once a month, but like she take them once a week. But yeah, she got a lot going on. Like, she's into so many different modalities, and she be working with you know not always benevolent deities and all this shit. So and she does readings for people too. But either way, um, a spiritual bath. Put your oils in there, put your intention in there. Use Epsom salt to cleanse the body. Use your Florida water. All of that. All of that. I make my own bath oil type thing. Just intuitively go off of it. You know what I'm saying? Or just see the properties of different ones you're drawn to. But either way, um, yeah, the spiritual bath is very, 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 very cleansing. So that same woman had talked about before. You wash down to get all the shit off of you, and then you wash up to bring in what you want, all the new, right? You're bringing it into yourself. And for me, the guy here in this book that we just read, or part of the book we read, he was talking about um, the aura and how you pick, like when he was talking about the clairsentient people and how you can pick up on the energy. So when you're talking about the aura, um, for me, I always envision like salt water cleans itself, the ocean cleans itself. So I always thought about like cleansing my aura with like being at the beach but going under like salt water. So cleansing it down with that, and like letting the waves kind of come over me, type of thing. With my two main warriors that stand next to me, right? Um, in Anpu, or y'all say Anubis, whatever. That's the Greek version, but yeah, Anpu and Archangel Michael, right? Who both have swords and like very similar energy. So again, we talked about how the Bible takes a lot from Kemet, and yes, he's a comedic deity. Um, so, anyways, yeah. Y'all get the point. Salt water and vision, like visualization, helps you a lot, type of thing too. So, yes, there's that. We had two simultaneous people, and they disappeared. Man, we used to get people on here to like, they would be in a chat, and I'd be talking to them. We haven't had that in a while. But usually that was like on Friday nights or something, like 3 o'clock in the morning and shit. That's usually what it was. All right, let's see what we got here. I just picked this up. I didn't. I didn't even. I didn't today. I didn't even think about. These are just empty information, whatever. Um. Yeah, today I didn't think about which one to pick up first. I just picked it up intuitively. So that's the other one is channeling. Um. That's another one. Is channeling. Channeling is like taking on another energy that's kind of outside of you. Not like a possession, like it don't have to be some deep, dark malice type of thing. But it's like I talked about last time about the Dada movement and how those artists, Picasso and Man Ray and Salvador Dali and these different people, how they tapped straight into the subconscious or the unconscious mind. So they bypass this entire filter that stands in your way, which is the like the frontal lobe area known for judgment and decision making and stuff. And it's also the same area that we just talked about when they calcify the pineal gland, right? So, anyways, it's that area, and they bypass that to tap into the subconscious. You could do this through substances, like we talked about earlier. We mentioned a number of psychedelics. We mentioned cannabis. We mentioned alcohol. Well, I don't know if I mentioned alcohol, but alcohol gets such a bad rap, and it's like it used to be used in ceremony, like it used to be used ceremoniously. So it wasn't just, oh, let's go do body shots off of somebody. Let's go get a bunch of tequila shots and get really fucked up and then black out and not know where we are. That's not how it was. There was a lot of medicinal properties to alcohol. And there was a lot of, it's literally called spirits for a reason, because you take on those spirits. So that's actually a perfect example, is taking on the spirits through ceremonial or ceremonious sipping of the alcohol. I even did a sound bath one time where we sipped mescal, but it was very, very like you felt it go down, and you felt the warmth, the burn, the whatever. You felt it, um, and that was a very different experience than hey, let's just go do tequila shots or gin or whatever you drink. Some people drink so much because it is a temporary coping skill. You can ask any therapist. Alcohol is a temporary coping skill. However, people are unable to cope with the thing that they're running away from, and this is where you get the severe side of the addictions and the wet brain, like drinking so much that it messes with your brain and you die, right? Alcohol poisoning, all these different things. That's a whole different side of the spectrum. That's not what we're talking about. But if you get just enough, or even to the point where you're slightly buzzed or even drunk, whatever. But drunk doesn't mean you have to pass out and be blacked out and whatever. You can be drunk off wine. You can be drunk off life. But anyways, you drink this and it can get you into that mind state. It's a channel. It can get you into the mind state to um, what's the other mind state? um, oh, to go into a trance like we talked about earlier. So music, drumming, certain sonic frequencies, um, alcohol, marijuana, uh, LSD, peyote, mushrooms, whatever. You could use these different things to tap in. Now you have to go and what is this? It feels weird. Oh, it got wet. That's why I closed the window early. By the way, I kept forgetting to tell y'all that. Like I just got up and randomly closed the windows or whatever. It's because of the rain. Anyways, so one of the cars got wet. Yeah, you have to go check with your local jurisdiction to figure out what's right for you, or tap into your intuition and all of that. I will say the psychedelics changed my life absolutely, but you will have to make your own determinations for you. I'm not giving you legal advice or anything. I'm not counseling nobody right now because this is a general video. Though I do feel one of your energies. It's been with me the whole time. Man, I'm gonna put this back in. These few had popped out, so I was trying to see if like I usually shuffle the little bit that do fall. If like 5 or 6 fall or 3 fall, but it's just wasting our time. I was about to make me smaller so y'all could see the background, but then I changed my mind. Man, we not get. Oh shit! I was about to say we not getting nothing, and then boom, right at that moment, it was the same wet card, bro. Holy, you can see it at the bottom. Look at the card; it's all jacked up. Look at it. See, I'm not lying to y'all, bro. The star card. Wow. Wow. Look, I mean, you don't even need me, right? Like, well, you need me, but but look at this here. My interpretations are dope. Look at this fucking bounty. Look at you pouring into a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful crystal clear lake. Like they're talking about, and the stars around surrounding. We talked about the galaxy earlier, but we're also talking about um uh man, that's just overflowing with prosperity. But we were talking about spiritual rebirth. Hey, thank you for the like. Appreciate you for being here, baby. Um Not baby like that, but you get it. But anyways, don't hate me because I'm swaggy. Yeah, that's beautiful. Beautiful. And these other two just fell out as well. Um I don't know why I did that. A two of whoa, what is this? It literally just has 2 on it. All right, well, we gonna find out together. Usually, it will have something like this major arcana down here too. It says like the moon. I don't know what the moon is supposed to represent in this deck. I love this deck, but I don't know all the interpretations. I like to read from the book that was written by the people that made the damn deck. But this 2 of what is this? 2 of onions? No, 2 of. It's a very powerful being. Oh, maybe I do know what this is, but I'm seeing like Gemini type of duality actually, but like in one person. And 2 is also a number of balance and harmony for sure. I'm gonna put this over here. Actually, I'm gonna put this over here. It's in my way. All right, boom. And who else we got next? That's all crooked. I'm gonna leave that for now. I'm gonna leave that for now. Um, let's see. Yeah, we gotta start with the star. Gotta start there. 15, 16, 17, which is number 8. Oh my gosh, bro. The number 8 has been popping up so much. Speaking of Anpu earlier, like Anpu brought me into the metaphysical path, and he's an 8, and I'm a life path 8. And I just talked about that in that live stream that I watched right before this. And she was talking about the number 8, the number 8, the number 8. And dragon energy. I was just about to watch a video about dragon energy that was filmed yesterday before her, but or before the reading, but I just like I saw she was live, so I clicked on her instead. But a Tibetan practitioner about a month ago, we were at this healing circle, and she just kept saying I was a dragon. Like she kept calling me a dragon, like gave me the nickname dragon. And then she asked the practitioner that trained her, like the one that was doing the healing. We were all out at this Thai restaurant after the healing, and it's a Thai and Japanese. But anyways, she asked her, and she was like, "So the year of the dragon gonna be big for him, huh?" And she was like, "Yep," and whatever. So the number 8 and dragons are coming up, because even in that reading, priestess had a dragon on her desk. This just happened like less than an hour ago. Well, I guess now it's more than an hour because I've been talking for one. Oh, here we go. The star card. Yo, so yeah. 488 2024 is an 8. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You see? Infinity. 8 is also a halfway infinity as well. And the owl represents intuition. You feel me? So boom. That's what we do. The star. I got that before I even knew all that shit. This tattoo, I got this before I even stepped into this metaphysical journey. So I didn't even know. Well, obviously I knew intuitively, but I like consciously, I was in such a low vibration at that point in my life. I didn't know nothing about this shit. I didn't know that. I think I looked up what an owl meant, but I didn't even know like fully the magnitude. And I didn't know about life path 8. I didn't know my damn life path. I didn't know none of that stuff. So I got it for infinity, you know what I mean? But that's what it also equals out to. So anyways, let's get to it. The star. A maiden sits on the shore and pours water into a crystal pool. 7 stars shine behind her, bringing hope to the lands below. Upright, upright meaning, hope, sign of good things, renewed faith, fulfillment in life's pleasures. Baby, that's the reset that they're talking about. And the sun is coming out right as I'm saying that shit. I know that window's been overexposed all day. I tried closing the blinds, it didn't work. But the sun is starting to come out through the clouds right when I said that. Oh, what am I doing? The moon. I was about to say, before I read the star, I looked down, I was like, oh, the moon's right below it. Because we were talking about the moon earlier. And not realizing that the moon is literally right here. So we got the star card and the moon card. Wow. All right. That's number 9, baby. That's sacred as well. The beginning and the end. The moon. The deviant moon casts its powerful influence over the city, controlling minds like a puppeteer. Upright meaning, brainwashing, dark influences, trickery, illusion, subconscious control. Oh my gosh. I know some of y'all weren't here for the beginning. Yo, and you talk about dragons. This sounds like a Chinese song in the background. Oh my goodness. In the beginning of this, what did we talk about? We talked about them trying, and matter of fact, not even that long ago, we talked about it again. About them trying to keep you indoors during the eclipse. They're trying to keep you indoors. Think about who. All these national emergencies they declaring, all these state of emergencies, FEMA's giving out all this shit. FEMA's giving out warnings for an eclipse. Saying, the guy was saying, oh, well, it's just because we're going to have a lot of tourists and we're not going to have our neighboring help that we would normally have. So just in case. So don't call in help from 3 hours away since your local precincts can't help you. You didn't think about 3 hours away. You didn't think about a state over or 3 states over. You decided to call the federal government to come deploy the National Guard for people who want to watch a solar eclipse? Something's off about that. They fall for anything. People fall for anything. My goodness. My gosh. It may not be the 8th. But pay attention. Anyways, the eclipse in itself, and as somebody pointed out, Usher's halftime show. I didn't watch it, but they showed clips of it and how he's literally on the stage with a fucking eclipse. Yeah. Anyway, and he had a phoenix pin on, which is obviously death and rebirth right there. That's what the phoenix represents. The Bennu bird, that's also an ancient Kemet, but Europeans took over the mythology or the symbology with the physics. I mean, with the phoenix. That's also a powerful symbol for myself. But anyways, I saw the vision I was telling you about. I had saw last night. It was like it was a lion head on fire, which is like Leo in the sun, right? Anyway, but then it was like a person kind of getting beamed up in this like white light, like this ethereal light at the same time. Like it was like a flash of a bright light, and then you see this lion head on fire. Very majestic. Like the Lion King had that shit. The Lion King is a ripoff of the Assyrian drama, okay? They legit ass took the story from Kemet and then tried to lie about it and say that they took it from Hamlet or they took it from some Shakespearean bullshit, which Shakespeare was a plagiarizer his damn self. We all know that. If you didn't, well, now you do. So you can't trust that either. So a plagiarizer plagiarized the plagiarizer. Like, okay, either way, the information is not yours and you stole it. And point blank. All right. So Disney tries to claim that they took it, that they based it on the plagiarizer William Shakespeare's play. But when you go and look at it, and it takes place in Africa, though. So if you're ripping off William Shakespeare, you think William Shakespeare was in Africa? Like his audience was there? Romeo and Juliet? They always show fucking white people when they or European people when they do those plays. So the point is that it's based in Africa because it's based on the African story of the Assyrian drama, which is like the most known ancient Kemet pantheon type of story. If you really want to go and look it up. But I say all that to say that Mufasa was in the sky and there was a fire coming off of him. And that was the vision I had. But it wasn't Mufasa last night. But I'm saying it was that kind of majestic energy. It was just like, it was like that. And then it had a beam and like a human dressed in white. I remember when I was making the art, it was a human dressed in white coming up to that light. So, I mean, it could be an alien spacecraft. Who knows? But no. Yeah. I say all that to say that this solar eclipse can be very, very powerful. I already knew it was going to be a thing of change, but now I'm like hearing both sides. I was watching an occultist and I was watching somebody that's exposing the occult. I watch both sides, and on both sides, there's talk of something very, very, very dramatic happening. The number 8, people talk about death, and Anpu and Osiris, or Asar is his name, but Osiris, as the Greeks call him, as most people know him as, um, his whole story was about resurrection, was about death and rebirth, and he became the king of the underworld because he had been resurrected. So there's absolute truth and power in these. Damn, my dog scared the shit out of me. That's confirmation. Ampu is a jackal, which is related to dogs. My God, he scared the shit out of me, bro. Y'all saw me jump. I was in my zone, channeling this shit, and here he go. Oh Lord, take a breath, everybody. That's how we know we're alive. You're not alive until you're embarrassed on YouTube. Whatever. You would have jumped too. My dog got a deep bark. He ain't even 2 years old yet. He's a menace. He's sweet and affectionate, annoyingly so, because he's a Velcro dog. But he's also a menace. He's very destructive. He don't be destructive like chewing on wires and shoes or toys, or shoes or furniture or anything like that. But he's just so wild, so hyper. And then like when it does come to his toys, he'd be like tearing them apart. Like he would swallow it. Like if you give him a tennis ball, he will chew through the center of the tennis ball and then start eating it, bro. Like he has food. Like whatever. That's the dog. Anyways, I know y'all didn't sign up for this when y'all came to check out all this psychic stuff. But anyways, clearly, I didn't want to make it 2 videos. Clearly, the moon is also about hidden meanings and subconscious and unconscious discovery. We talked about that in the last video. It was the last video, I think, the wine conversations episode 1, because it wasn't in the trauma video. Well, I mean, I think in the trauma video I might have hit on it, but last video I was like going more in depth. It's one of the two. Whatever. You ain't got nothing to lose. Just put me on in the background. People said they like to listen to me. Multiple people have told me that they like to hear me talk. So I be feeling bad because I'm like, man, I've been talking for like 3. I've done 5-hour live streams. One time I did an 11-hour one, but it's on. I set it to private. I don't know what I was rambling on about. I think I was on some psychedelics at that time. Allegedly, supposedly, who knows? Anyways, nah. It's definitely like it said. The moon casts powerful influence over the city, controlling minds like a puppeteer. Brainwashing, like we talked about the TV programming earlier, and we talked about how they want people to have less families. Only the unintellectual will be having children eventually because they're easier to control, because people don't want to expand and read or explore themselves. They want to run away and distract themselves. Our society is based on escapism and distraction. It is what it is. You choose to live here, so, or in some form of a Western world, so you already know. Even it happens all over. It happens in Eastern worlds too, but in the Eastern, they're more rooted in their foundation. They understand these things that I'm telling you, that this is like information that's new to you. This is how they live their day-to-day life. Like, speaking of ancient Kemet, there was no separation between like spirituality. It wasn't this separate thing from you. The way we talk about it now, they would be confused. Like, what do you mean? Like, magic was a part of their life, like embedded. Magic is just pushing your will onto something. It's transmutation. It's transformation. Speaking of, the word for magic in ancient Kemet is Heka, and I had just seen that. I saw it. I was looking at a little bit of information for like kind of how I wanted to address the psychic video right here. I always do everything live and just off the top of the dome. Like I heard this, like clear audience, right? I heard it earlier. I heard something about the misconception of psychic abilities and to do a video on it. All right, so boom. But I wanted to get a little bit of a background before I just came on here bare naked, right? And um, I saw the word Heka, and I went back and I watched her video before I did this one, and she talked about Heka. Somebody in the chat asked her, "What is the Egyptian word for magic?" And then she was talking about, or they asked her something as well regarding that, and yeah, so she went into talking about Heka. So again, all these synchronicities mean something. And also Carl Jung, the grandfather of psychology, of Western psychology, since you don't want to listen to me, even though he was German, he was the grandfather of Western psychology, not just Freud. Everybody talk about Freud, but Carl Jung, he was an occult guy, and he really, really, really talked about the importance of the unconscious mind. The moon has to do with unconscious minds, but it also has to do with illusions. It may even be illusions you're telling yourself. I think it's illusions you're telling yourself. And that is something I talked about in that last video. Illusions. Yeah. Yeah. I felt the energy shift after that. I felt it. It's like a balloon burst a little bit. Like if you took a pin needle to a water balloon. Water has to do with the moon. The moon controls the water, the tides. Um, and water also correlates with emotion and the sign of Cancer. The astrological sign of Cancer has to do with both of those things. Water energy. All right, y'all. Let's figure out what this 2 is. I'm just moving on from that. But yeah, I felt that shit pop. Is this really it? I wish I had a picture. Hold on. I think it's it, but it's just a little surprising. Hold on. No, it's not swords. Where's 2 at? No, it's not swords. It's not wands. I wanted to make sure. Cups and pentacles. Okay, so this has the normal stuff anyway. Okay. This has cups, wands, pentacles, and swords. Some decks don't do that. They call it different things. All right, so it is this. The reader I showed y'all last time. Last night she released a video with this word in the title. I didn't click on it because I was tired. I was watching the traders still. I was tired. I was about to go to bed, and it popped up on my YouTube feed. $5 if you can guess what the name is. I give you 10 seconds. Comment below. Nah, y'all scam artists trying to come out here pretending like y'all got it right. All right, let's go. 2, which again is balance and harmony. On page 8, bro. I'm not making this shit up. Y'all see this? That's the number 8. Hold up. Can I get in here? Oh no, I forgot that I set this. Just zoom in. Whatever. I know what the truth is. The High Priestess. Oh, this is good here. This is definitely illusions you're telling yourself. This is based on your programming. What is programming your subconscious mind? Is it lack, scarcity, poverty, fear? Is it falsehoods about money's the root of all evil, which we've addressed? Evil is still gonna be evil. People still gonna murder, rape, kill. you know, be pedophiles without money. That has nothing to do with it at all. So, unless you're a mercenary, I guess. Either way, is it, power and greed is the root of all evil, but is it stuff you're telling yourself about your abilities? Like when I felt that burst, or that water balloon, maybe there's a bubble. Either way, when I felt that, it's like I heard self doubt. So that's the clear audience right there. I heard self doubt. So you could have this beautiful. It seems like you do. This is flowing around you. This like beautiful bounty into this crystal clear lake or water, but some type of illusion is holding you back from your true destiny. Damn. There's an illusion holding you back from your true destiny, which is pure beauty and abundance and prosperity. The High Priestess. The High Priestess sits as a winged sentinel over the city. Over the city? I know it's two, but I just want to make sure I'm reading the right shit. um, a winged sentinel over the city. She protects the knowledge she holds inside, for wisdom must be earned through the trials of life. Upright meaning. Supreme knowledge, intuition, a woman wise beyond her years, virtuous, scholarly. Supreme knowledge, scholarly, intuition. I know I keep referencing these other videos, but I talked about how doubt stems from fear, or fear stems from doubt. Because if you were well versed in how it was going to work out, you were well versed in how to go about it, you were well versed in the skills that it required and the money that it required, you were in tune, absolutely and truly, you knew what was going to happen, you would not fear that thing. Hence, you would not have doubt surrounding that thing. You have doubt about something because you're not fully knowledgeable about it. So seeking that knowledge and that clarity, the meditation, the trance that we talked about earlier, things like that. I'm here and take this top card, but I'm gonna shuffle anyway. Man, I'm getting hungry. Hungry for knowledge and power. Which side do you want to devour? Knowledge could get you power. You know, power doesn't always have to be this negative connotation thing either. You know, you could do a lot of good with power. Unless you're a Diddy. Oh, too soon? Not soon enough. Let's see. Beautiful rain is cleansing outside. It's a chill ass day. It feels like the weekend, not a Tuesday. Is today Tuesday? Yes. Today's the 2nd. Oh! Look at that. I don't think there's no more cards right now. The 2nd. Oh my gosh. And you know what today is? Today is number 5, which is change, creativity, harmony. Oh. All right, too many things came out. We gonna shuffle everything that came out, bro. I think I lost that bottom card. I'm gonna just shuffle it. If it's meant to be, it'll be. Bro, because you got 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 in the year, and then you've got 9, 10. And then you've got 10 plus 4. So now you have 4 plus 1, which is 5. That's how you get to that, in case you're wondering. Yes, sir. Wow, what a powerful day. And I just see 355 on my screen for this little counter thing I got for something else. Bro, can we come on? All these fell out and I don't know which one to take now. This one? This top one. Anything else? Nothing else. Alright. I had to put it back in there. Whoa. These are some good cards. I don't know if I'm gonna read all these though. These are optionals. We'll see. Alright. Okay. We got the Queen of Cups. I don't know if it was reversed because I think I left it how it fell. But since those other cards fell on top, whatever. We going in reverse. That's how it popped up. Y'all can see her. Well, this is what it would look like. Standing over a city, offering abundance with the moon in the back. But we ain't get that like that. Oh, it's some people. Oh, it's a ship in the back and a lighthouse on the other side. Wow. Let me move this down. Y'all can see that. Oh, wait. I didn't want it to be fucking with autofocus today, so I just sat it and forgot it. Whatever. Y'all can see. Lighthouse, boat. So here we go. Queen of Cups. Light of Tomorrow is what this song keeps saying. It's pretty much a dub instrumental, and then they just keep saying, the light of tomorrow, but in a higher falsetto. Queen of Cups. You know, when I started embracing my natural voice instead of that customer service voice we all do when we go up like 3 octaves to try to appease people and that bullshit, when I started doing that, then my singing voice just started getting better. I think it's because like part of it is like I got used to the tonality of my own resonance, right? I got used to how my voice naturally is. See, I just did it. I went up a couple octaves, but I got used to how my voice naturally is. And then I think it helped with pitch, but it also just helped like me embrace my natural voice and sing with my voice instead of trying to like match like Cisco. Oh my God, that dude can sing, bro. Nah, even I was listening to Cisco the other day. Something kept telling me to put on his record, and I didn't put it on for a while, for a couple days. And then this day, I was just like singing. Like I got like an hour or two on my recorder of me just singing all these different R&B songs. Well, whatever. I put on Cisco, not just R&B actually, but whatever. I put on Cisco's album, Unleash the Dragon, bro. Oh, that's such a good album. Such a good album. And even on the song that y'all are thinking about, his most famous song, even on that song, he was singing his ass off. Now it was terrible. What's the term? The order of the CD. There's like a certain term for that. Arrangement. Song arrangement. It was terrible song arrangement. Not song arrangement. Album sequencing. Sorry, that's the word. It was terrible album sequencing because you go from the super high energy hit of the summer song straight into like his other slow ballad, let me play the piano hit song, which was incomplete. So you put on Thong Song and you're like boom, and then you turn around and you just go straight into the ding 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 ding. It's just, it don't work, dude. Like you got to bring the people down slowly, bring them down gradually, and then hop into a slower song. They don't just go high octane straight into a love song, a ballad. It makes you want to skip it. I did. Anyways, I still remember that video. He was like out on the grass on the lawn singing and shit. Y'all don't remember these days. Whatever, man. Queen of Cups. All right. I'm the best tarot reader out there. They don't have this energy like me. They be all into the negative shit too. A lot of them. One of the ones I used to like, I had to stop really watching her, man. She just always got some issues and problems going on. But lately, she seemed like she's having her own spiritual awakening. It looked like she really tapping in now. Um, just her whole energy has changed. Her what's the not the rapport, but the something else with an R. I don't know. Just the way she was approaching people and the way she was approaching things, you could definitely see a shift. Definitely, she's being a lot gentler now. But anyways, Queen of Cups. The benevolent queen makes her way along the shoreline. She is careful to catch any drop of water that might spill from the glorious chalice she carries. In the distance, a lighthouse serves as a guiding beacon. Somebody called me a beacon, bro. You know, I think I said this before with this exact deck. I'm pretty sure there was a reading where it was right after it happened. It was right. It was like 2 days after it happened. I was at the park, and this guy said, "Man, you a beacon, man. You're a beacon." And then, anyways, just something to note. Okay, upright meanings would be kind and caring person, devoted, imaginative, a guiding personality. However, we didn't get it in the upright. We got it in the reverse. So in the reverse meanings, untrustworthy, unreliable, indecision, disdoubt, disillusion. Oh my gosh, that's a sign, bro. Car just honked like crazy outside. And then paused and I said it's a sign and it honked again. I'm not making shit up. Turn up your volume or put it in Logic or Audacity and turn it up and you'll see. The point is, there's some type of illusion, some type of falsehood blocking you from your blessings, your prosperity. Like I said, blocking you from your true destiny of prosperity and abundance. Is scarcity. I mentioned scarcity earlier today because she's trying so hard to not spill this one little drop, but you got an unlimited spring right here. Look at this. Look at this. Can everybody see? If I do end up making this a podcast, like, just go on and look, bro. Go on and look. You got the star where she's pouring out water. She got an overfilling abundance of water. She's cleansing. She's turning that shit into more water and letting go, right? She got beautiful stars surrounding her. And then you got this other lady who's at the top of the hill. She's a queen. When you seen a queen cling on to a last little coin? When do queens hang on to coins? I don't care if it's a gold coin. A queen, that don't mean nothing to a queen. You think Queen Elizabeth was stressing for money? There's another car honk right there. King energy, queen energy, royalty. They spending other people's money. They're not clinging on to no damn penny. They wanted to get rid of the penny. You understand? Drip drop. You're trying to save a drop when you got a whole pool, a whole jacuzzi full. Another two car honks. What is going on? I don't never hear none of this on the street. And y'all saw me close the window. So that means at the top, this window opens in twos. So the top one must be cracked still. Or these horns are just loud enough to hear through the damn window. They could be, because these ain't like, it's not the quietest ones. But the point, I'll never hear this many fucking honk honk horns and stuff. My dog is up barking again. You see me, so he ain't scare me this time. I ain't jump on camera. Hold on a minute though, because he disrupted me. I might have to go out there. This one I'm getting. Shh. This one I'm getting. Oh, this was the first one I saw too. So these four had all fell out, right? And I saw the hangman. It was like this. It was like this. But I saw where it said, well, actually, it was kind of more like that. And I saw where it said the hangman. And I was like, okay, let me put these back together. And then just now I sat here and shuffled these three in front of y'all real quick. And guess who came out? Is our friend, the hanged man. Now, it's upright. So it looks funny. Because really it would be like this. Um, I'm sorry, it was in the reverse, is what I'm saying. I saw it upright. Wait a minute, I'm confusing myself. Oh, because it was like this, right? So what was this? Whatever. I'm gonna read the upright and the reversal because it may be a split energy. It's like I said, it's like a duality. It's a dual energy. That's what I get off that shit. But anyways, let's see what we got. Let me put these other cards away. Now I got my whole book upside down. The Hanged Man. That is 7. Number 7. Right above the number 8 death card. No bullshit. I can't make that up. Hey, y'all saw me open this box live. I didn't even know it was wet until after. Anyways, the Hanged Man. A citizen hangs suspended in limbo. He is so that's the indecision. Oh, I'm out here covering stuff. We got enough space. All right. There we go. And it's based in fear and doubt. Doubt that's stemming from fear. Because you're holding on to a drop with scarcity instead of looking at the abundance pouring in. A citizen hangs suspended in limbo. He is apathetic and feels no urgent need to alter his situation. Time around him does not stand still, however. He must free himself or his life will pass him by. Wow. Upright meaning letting time pass you by. Indecision, opportunities missed. Reversed meanings wasting time, lack of progress, feeling stalled in life. So that's why we wanted to read both. I didn't know if, honestly, I was like, wait, was it up or was it down? Because he's upside down, so it was confusing me. And both needed to be read. Letting time pass you by with indecision and opportunities missed. You're wasting time. You're making a lack of progress and feeling stalled in life. I know exactly how that feels. Where it's like you are it's like you're stalled through progression because you you're stalled through progression in a sense of like you don't want to get complacent, so you want more for yourself, right? But your current situation just keeps showing you this, keeps showing you this, keeps showing you this lack. Lack, scarcity. So you can't fully internalize, even though maybe mentally you can kind of look like, oh, okay, yeah. But it's like that. It's like a yeah. You can look and say, yeah, I'm abundant. Like I have a roof over my head. Yeah. I have some stuff that I like. Yeah. I was able to get myself out of that old situation. Yeah. But that's not life. Like you don't feel like alive, like wow, like you're living your true dream or achieving all that you can be. Your highest self, your optimum self, your ultimate being. Um but deeper than that, it's more of like a you're stagnant and staying still because maybe you don't know what the success will bring. You've never been in a place of stability in love. You've never tasted having all that you can have and want and dream about without it being limited or taken away. So you don't know what the life is to have the life that you want. Like you don't know what it's like to have this life that your destiny is setting up for you. So these old hidden subconscious messages and programming that your parents have did or whoever didn't love you had did, that your ex did, your ex friend, your ex business partner, your ex lover did, your own mother did, your father did, all that shit is hidden under your surface and you're carrying that around. Like earlier in the book that I read, the man talked about the solar plexus. And I told you it's about your will, your personal strength, and your confidence. Well, it's hard to have confidence when you've always been in a rocky foundation. You don't know when the hell the house is going to crumble. So, how could you sit here and invite abundance and know that it's true and it's coming to you when you've always had these fucking pitfalls? You can't trust. How can you move? How can you? And the book that I read in the last reading, uh, The Body Keeps Score. I told you about that in the last reading. I had read an excerpt. I had told you about it. Where when you've faced trauma, you're literally missing. Like this part of your brain no longer lights up the same way that someone with a quote unquote normal brain does. Meaning you don't have a concept of self. You've dissociated. You've dissociated. And usually we do with trauma, right? You go out of body, you dissociate with your body. Yo, outside looked like it just changed colors, honestly. But you might have had to like deny yourself or suppress yourself or repress the memory so much that you can't even tap into self. So when someone's out here talking about a psychic, someone who can tap into their intuition just like that, you don't know that. You're sitting here like, what the hell? Like, there's no way that's within me. You think somebody has to be special to have that, but you can develop that. I said it's a gift and a skill. It's both. It might be harder for you, but you can't even tap into intuition. You can't talk about a psychic self because you can't even tap into intuition due to these conditions. The conditions that were put on love or the programming that was ingrained into you. So you think that shopping at discount stores and buying food from Dollar Tree is normal. It's regular to you. Shopping at Walmart where it's all poison. Everything is motherfucking processed and the produce that they give you is bottom of the barrel. Low vibrational, damn near expired produce, lacking nutrients. The meat inflames your body, the dairy inflames your body. The clothes that they sell fall apart in 6 months to a year, if you get that long. The electronics you're gonna have to replace. Like, there's nothing good sold at Walmart. None. And I used to love Walmart. I used to be the motherfucker riding bikes at Walmart with my friends at midnight just because. Like, get off work. Like, yo, let's just go to Walmart. Like, I don't know. It just used to be a spot. So, like, Maybe not midnight. Sometimes, yeah, it was midnight, but not always. But either way, we had super Walmarts. I know some of y'all don't know what I'm talking about because y'all don't have, or you might live like parts of Atlanta where they close that shit down by 9. Like, let me just say that. That's the Walmart I used to have to shop at later in life. But anyways, I lived in an area that had a 24-hour clean, nice, comfortable one that didn't have to close by 9. And anyways, yeah, see, and that's part of it. If you come from that, being in a Walmart that don't even sell a dictionary, being in the ones that have bare bones shelves and shit that have to close by 9 because motherfuckers is out with some harmful, destructive BS, it's very, very difficult for you to be in a space where you say, oh, I have options now. I can upgrade to Amazon. I can upgrade to IKEA. No, that IKEA still falls in that same line of cheap ass shit that's gonna fall apart. You need quality. Quality of life matters. People don't talk about that shit. Your quality of life matters. And being scarce and so afraid to drop a little money, being afraid is not going to get you your true destiny. But you're afraid because you don't have the knowledge and the skill and the know-how. Man, that was a real sci-fi sound that just went around my head just now. Also, I'm surprised to know that there are some people out there whose minds are like blank. Like they don't have internal thoughts. I cannot fathom. Like earlier, the man was talking about clairaudience and how we hear songs all the time. Y'all don't have songs playing in your head all the time. Like 75 to like I've had to calm it down because sometimes the shit would just keep going and going and going. It's terrible. But even when he said that, I immediately had a song pop into my head. Lately, my head has been more like it's more calm or whatever. Like I don't hear music nonstop like I did before. But then again, I've been allowing myself more silence as well. I don't play music all the time like I did before. Like I didn't used to be able to go to sleep without a TV or radio on. Like that's how tense or chaotic my life was in childhood, like so traumatic. But also that could have been my gift at a very, very, very young age of like, yo, I need this shit on. So I used to I could not stand silence. There was a time where I could not silence drove me crazy. Like literally sitting there, like silence, oh, it drove me insane. Now it's like there's moments where I crave silence. I need to shut it off and take a break. But back then, like, there was a time I hated it. So I say all that to say, like, there's always, if it's not a song, then it's like mental chatter, talking to yourself about yourself, talking about somebody else, whatever, a show you watch, something, philosophies. Y'all don't sit there and like think about philosophies in your minds. I just don't understand. I don't understand. There's people that their mind is just blank. I don't know. That's more trippy than acid. I don't know how you people live. Like, what do you mean? I just please somebody gotta explain it to me. I can't fathom that. But anyways, oh, 3 cards fell out. Justice, the Queen of Pentacles, who's on the front of the box. Ooh, we are honored tonight. We are honored. Look at that. That's a rarity, okay? And the thing is, we got it in the reverse. Justice in the upright, Queen of Pentacles in the reverse, and chess. What does this chess have to do? What is this? A 10 of Pentacles. Ooh, but it's 2 evil people, like a stepmother almost, like 2 evil people playing chess on the back of a little peasant who's very sad. Yet the peasant holds like a voodoo doll or statue, like a voodoo statue in their hand. So it's almost like they're hesitant to like release the spell, but they're being held down by these like, yeah, like how they treat the modern day citizen. And those times are changing, baby. Those times are done with. Everything is falling apart for them. Matter of fact, that reader I told you I watched right before this, she was talking about that too. Talking about that too. Wow. I mean, y'all can see this for yourself, right? Like, it's not even me having to read every little thing. Like, y'all can look at this shit. Let's tell the story. Boom, we have this backed up by that with this. Then we're like clinging to the shit. And then we're here like an idiot hanging upside down. Like, we ain't got nothing to do. Like, we don't have life. Like, life is not still going on. Okay? And then we got people playing chess on our backs. No. Then we have justice for ourselves, the keys to unlock what we need. We have food in our hands, so our belly is full. We have protection at our feet, or a pet, or whatever, something to make you happy and protect you. And we got two swords because we bout that business too. And then from there, you got a Queen of Pentacles with all these children surrounding her, and she could like bend down and give them help and give them money, but it don't look like. But it looks like she's torn about it. Like, she's not sure. Like, this may be her last pentacle, even though usually the Queen of Pentacles don't represent that, right? It's a large ass pentacle she got, but she got a lot of little things around her trying to pull that energy or take that energy. Money is an energy. And then you got people playing chess on the back of a naked peasant who's very distraught. Who's very distraught. And this message actually, this could be deeper. You're getting justice for the people that can't speak up for themselves. And the shit gonna come crumbling down. The shit gonna come crumbling down. And this could, I really, really, really feel this today. As an individual. Not just the meaning, but I mean like I feel the energy, yeah. But I mean the I got stuff going on in my own life that like this all adds up. This all adds up. I'm not projecting shit. I'm just saying after I read that like that, that really hits me at home too. Where's the justice card at, man? Where we at? 8. 8. I thought 8 was death earlier. Oh, I read that wrong. My bad. So death must have been, what was death? 13, which is 4. But still, 4 is practical and 4 is part of 8. So, anyways, justice. Wait, that's still not 4. Why can't I read today? What is going on? 10, 13. That's a 4. Oh, yeah. I'm tripping. Never mind. I was right. Okay. Justice, number 8 on page 10, which is number 1 for intuition. A great judge balances two swords as he presides over the city. Although seemingly fair, corruption often creeps from the seams of a just society. Upright meaning balance, strong character, and fairness. Reversed, abuse, taking sides, bias. That's something to look into. We got it in upright, but that's something to look into. So right now, it's saying balance, being restored, right? Strong character, fighting through with determination, and then you got fairness. If you do the right things, things will often appear fair. That's just facts. When you out here doing fuck shit, well, that's on you. So you might want to take these spiritual baths we talked about. Now, Queen of Pentacles. The gracious queen revels in her luxurious lifestyle. However, she is somewhat detached from the needs of her people. She shows her royal pentacle to an audience of dolls, mistakenly believing that society will benefit from this act of misplaced charity. Upright meaning luxury, affluence, a gracious host, charity, and generosity. However, we got it in the reverse. So, reverse meaning dependent on others for monetary support, untrustworthy, poor social graces. Earlier, I told y'all that they spend other people's money. Those are my exact words somewhere in this message. Y'all can go back and see. Untrustworthy. We got that earlier too. Unreliable. We got the word unreliable earlier. And we got untrustworthy. I believe earlier as well, but we got it for now too. Poor social graces. Speaking of Diddy. Oh Lord. Here. I told you it's all coming crumbling down. All come crumbling down. I picked up on that shit a year ago. Sometime last year. I was like something in 6 months. I kept thinking something around the fall. I kept thinking September, October. I kept thinking that. I don't know when actually I think I saw a video the other day that said it was 5 months. So I didn't know that this had all started 5 months ago. And I'm not on socials and shit like that. So I just been seeing it. Like I subscribe to this thing about law and crime. The law and crime network on YouTube. You should check them out. Because this Ruby Frankie thing that had popped up. So when I was looking at that, I subscribed to them because I like their style. And I'm also going to law school eventually. Not now. And soon. Anyways, they popped up with the Diddy thing, and I was like, oh shit! Like all the details started coming out. And yeah, that's a method of distraction to an extent, but it's also a lot to do with like, there go my dog making a noise when I say that. But it's also about justice for people that can't speak up for themselves, and this old paradigm falling down. The queen, they said, ding dong, the witch is dead. Honestly, yeah, triple squeaks for that, buddy. He said, "June." All right, where we at? 10. We're at the night. 10 of Pentacles. A wealthy father schools his son in a game of chess, sharing his knowledge not only of the game, but of life as well. 10 pentacles form an arch around the window, framing the boy's future inheritance. Unbeknownst to him, a servant has quietly stolen the king piece. Oh, it's interesting. Upright meanings: sharing of family values and traditions, inheritance, wealthy and prosperous home. I'm not gonna read the reverse. This also taught. Remember, I kept saying the parents, whatever your parents taught you, the illusions as well. Of course, the outside entities that program you through TV and media and all that shit. But we talked about belief systems. We talked about belief systems as well. And this father's passing on the bullshit to his son, thinking he's in control, and he don't even know that the servant he's working off of got his most valuable piece. There's power in the people. There's more power at the bottom. Somebody said this the other day. It's more power in the bottom of the pyramid than the top. Who's at the bottom of the pyramid? You see me? But we've been taught to undervalue ourselves. We've been taught that there's finite resources and we have to sit here and cling on to a fucking drop of water. Meanwhile, we got wells and springs overflowing with them. And your parents taught you that. And society taught you that. I told you we were talking about the Greeks stealing from the Romans taking from the Greeks and the Greeks stealing from Kemet. The wealth of knowledge and the actual literal gold and the wealth. Their paradigm is crashing down. But the first thing you learn in America as a black child is that you were owned by somebody else. That's the first thing they teach you in school. When you're old enough to start taking history classes. And the whole time you had Kemet. The whole time you had Samaria. The whole time you had Nubia, where all the gold was. You had Ethiopia. You still have Congo. So yeah, it's not all about somebody saying it's not all about your past and your Akashic records, but more so what are you doing now? Like, yeah, you were king and queen in a past life, but what are you doing now? And now you're sitting here clutching to drops of waters and half of a penny when you should be truly overflowing with abundance and prosperity. So there's a blockage, there's an illusion. Maybe it's something telling you don't deserve it. Maybe you're telling you that you don't deserve it. So you're going to stay here. But the problem is time is running out. Opportunities are going by. And right now on the 8th, coming up now, the 8th of April 2024, a significant date. It's a new spiritual formation. How do you want to live? But that's on you. You can go with this old paradigm, but it's gonna come crumbling down. All this hoarding shit, this hoarding thing right here, when all of them around here need help, you doing that means that you're blocking your blessings and prosperity, but you also can't help nobody else out because you don't have no damn resources. So how you gonna help anybody? You can't even help you. How you gonna help somebody? So now you're wasting a spiritual gift because of outdated ideologies and like disrespect and dismissal. But that's number 8 right there. That's number 8 right there. See, we didn't plan this shit. Y'all all saw me do this live. I don't hear no nonsense. That's channeling. That's psychic capabilities. That's intuition. I pretty much demonstrated all of them for you today. If you were paying attention, you heard me talk about clairvoyant stuff I saw, clairaudient stuff I heard, claircognizant shit that I just know. Oh, and the other one that we were talking about that I don't remember how to say the name. It's the one for smell, and because it's spelled differently than all the rest. But anyways, I mean they're all spelled differently, but it just looks different than the rest. And most people only talk about the 3 or the 4 clairs. But anyways, the one with the smell, that could be you smell somebody's perfume that just passed on, or somebody from your past. Maybe you smell, like the other day I was getting a real strong scent of this cologne, and I knew it wasn't the sprays in my house because the sprays in my house don't smell like cologne right now. I just kept getting this hit of it. I was like, what the fuck? Like, whose cologne is that? And then I got another hit of it, and it was like this guy that basically, I mean, he kind of raised me a little bit, But anyways, him and my mom's was together for like 15 years, right? And some real fuck shit went down. But before all that happened, he was like essentially a father figure to me. And his cologne came in. And then I heard his name. Yo, I didn't make this shit up. I was talking to y'all about something different. If you know, you know. Master number 44. You usually don't break down a master number, but you could say the 4 and the 4 automatically I thought of 8. So this is like real true stuff coming in. But anyways, the man, I had got like a hit of his cologne, and I was like, "What, him?" I was like, "No way." I was like, "I don't even know why he popping up right now." And then I heard his name like a day later, a day or two later. Now heard his name, so it's like the book was saying that person could be thinking about you. That person could be about to transition, like, move on from this earthly plane. Like, I have a lot of people. This has happened more than once that someone was like, I'll never forget. I walked into my school for the first time it happened. I walked into my school to like re-enroll or to have a meeting with the director or something. I was like logging in at the front desk because I didn't have my student pass, whatever. And this guy, he was like 10 feet from me or maybe 15 feet away from me. And he was in a conversation with 3 or 4 other people. Like, it was like 3 people in like a semicircle talking, and he stood on this side, and eventually somebody else came and walked up to him and started talking. So in a conversation with 4 people in this group, he kept looking over at me, right? Like, he was staring at me, right? And I'm looking back and I'm like, that day I didn't want to talk to nobody. I was kind of, I don't know what kind of mood I was in, but I know I was kind of irritated, and I didn't even want to talk or acknowledge anybody. I was just like, what? Like, what do you fucking keep staring at me for? Like, I was muttering under my breath and everything. I was getting irritated because he kept looking at me, and then he was like staring. And I think of like one time maybe I looked back and kind of like semi head nodded, like, or threw my hands, like, what? Like, you know what I mean? Like, semi acknowledged him, but I did not know this guy. All right. Turns out he was an instructor at the school, and he used to be a pro wrestler, WWE type shit, literally in the WWE. And now he was at this school teaching audio engineering. Well, would you know that, was it 3 weeks? No, or 3 days. Hold on. Oh, the funeral was 3 weeks later. Okay. Yes. This man kept staring at me, and like within the week, there was an email that goes out and said that the man was dead. Like, WWE fit guy, like 36 years old type shit. And so then they sent out the email. I was mixing up the dates because they sent out the email, and then they had the sorry, it's weird noise. Then I heard the funeral was after that. You know what I mean? So yeah, but I'll never forget that shit because he was like, it was a weird way he was staring at me. Not like somebody staring at you like mugging your outfit or they don't like you or whatever. Not, it wasn't like that. Not even like a staring contest. It was just like he was drawn to me. But I'm sitting here talking to this lady trying to sign in at the front desk. I don't know this man. And yeah. Anyways, that's not the only time that happened to me though. There was another time, and it was like, oh man, that one is a little bit more foggy. But I remember there was another time where that person died like very, very soon after. Like, it was just getting some vibe off of them or something. Like, it was just they were drawn to my energy type thing. And when we talk about the underworld, the unconscious mind, but also the underworld in Kemet and things like that, that has to do again with death, right? So it's death and rebirth. It could be a physical death, but death is also just transformation and the old things dying off. Like happens every winter or how this new spiritual thing's supposed to happen. But um, anyways, I saw that to say that the other one with the scent, you can smell. Oh my gosh, no way, no way. You can smell somebody's cologne or something, and it could be them reaching out to you in some regard, either mentally, astrally, yeah, mentally like telepathically, but astrally like in the astral realm, like they can come to you in dreams. Like I had two aunts die within like 2 days apart from each other about a month ago, and both of them came to me in a dream the other night. So even though they died in the beginning of the month, like we only just now had their funerals like the end of February, and yeah, they had both came to me a few nights ago. I think 3 nights ago or something. They came to me in a dream, and we was all like, it was like funny because they were always funny when they were alive. So it was like we all laughing and shit. But yeah. Anyway, so 44. I know my voice changed now. I was straining my voice with no water. 44, Basewood, Feminine, West, Saturn, Earth. That other reader was just talking about Saturn too. Um, and then right there, y'all saw I was just fidgeting with the cards and I flipped them, I split them, and we got 33, which is another master number, right? But also we got the number 21, which reduces to a 3. So that was pretty cool. You got 333. You got the Trinity here. 2 is again balance and harmony. 1 is intuition. 4 is practicality. Obviously, we've been talking about number 8 all day. Boom. Let's get this. Let's see what we got. I don't never pull out this deck, really. Shaman wisdom cards. 44. Basewood. Feminine. West. Saturn. Earth. I am Basewood. I am the false face mask of the Iroquois tobacco ceremony. When you put on the mask, you lose your identity and become whatever the mask represents. You are no longer the person, you are the spirit. The mask also signifies that you might be escaping reality and hiding from the truth. Remove that mask and come face to face with your life. I am the tree spirit. I am protection. Come on, bro. You see what I'm saying? So y'all see real life and real and live how this psychic shit works, how this channeling thing works, right? This is just one way. This is I choose to use divination. I like to use tarot cards. I really don't need the cards. I don't need the cards. This is shit that I already picked up on. I was adding stuff that the book they ain't even say. You see me? But on top of this, like, this is a whole nother deck that has nothing to do with this deck. Weren't bought at the same time. Nothing. They don't even sit next to each other on the shelf. They're separated. Those two gaps over there in the corner, they're separated. Oh, y'all can't see right now. I'm not gonna turn the camera, but the point is, it's over there. I shuffled it live in front of y'all, right? With my spirit guide, the wolf, right on top. Spirit animal, the wolf. And this is what we got. So, anyways, master number, bro. We talked about all of this, how this is a society of escapism. We talked about illusions and hiding the truth. We talked about the Dada movement when they remove the filter in front, remove the mask that's not you. When we talked about going in deep with the shamanic journeying and finding out what's in your subconscious and your unconscious mind, coming face to face with yourself, right? I talked about tree meditation. Who talks about tree meditation just randomly? You see me? So like, this is definite messages. And I am protection. You don't have to worry about all this other stuff that's going on. You're gonna be protected. Now, things that happen to you that were meant to break you can never keep you down. It is, who are you, and are you going to tell your message and your story? Are you going to help other people? Or are you going to be like this damn Queen of Pentacles, showboating her wealth and her whatever, her gold, and ignoring everybody that could use a piece of this or help? You know, that overcoming trauma video, you'll find a lot of information in there. And um I put timestamps. It's like a 3-hour video. I put timestamps. My videos have been longer lately, but that's fine. Anyways, number 33. This is crazy. I love synchronicity, but we talked about a lot of that. The divine feminine energy, the that part of your brain. We talked about getting grounded with earth. The other person I was watching talked about Saturn. All right, 33. Beings. Masculine, south, Mercury, air. They talked a lot about air. Mercury retrograde, we talked about that coming up. Talked about divine masculine, all of that. So, I am beings. I am vitality. And this is on page 35, which is number 8. I had to say that. I am beings. I am vitality of your life. Together with squash and corn, we are the life force. I always return more than I take. I feed the earth. This is a time for new or renewed relationships. Love is in the air. Developing harmony leads to security, which allows for advancement. Reconcile any old issues and concerns. I am versatile. Right there where it says developing harmony, which we talked about the number 2 with the justice, with the other card, the high priestess that we had. Um, Developing harmony leads to security, which allows for advancement. So again, when you're on this rocky foundation, this disharmonious situationship that you find yourself in, right? How in the world do you expect to find the clarity and the security, break free from the doubt and these false illusions, and advance your life without developing the harmony, without going within, without exploring the depths of your mind, the old belief systems that are no longer serving you, the the situationships that you find yourself in, reconciled old issues and concerns. This is again going into the subconscious mind, the unconscious mind, uncovering these things that have been holding you down, these traumas that continue to weigh you down. They continue to ooze out of your aura, and they keep coming on and hindering you. Maybe you feel you don't deserve more than you have now because that was taught to you, or that was your defense mechanism, or you didn't know how to internalize the things that happened to you. So bear, that's a very, very powerful spirit animal right here, is the bear. Bear, south/west, masculine, fire. So we have both this. We had the west first, then we had the south. Now this is a card bringing the two together. You can read it for yourself. Um, Here. All right. Earlier there was a Rasta man talking about fire and how it could either purify or burn, essentially. Um, Where's my recorder? Because that's not what you said. It's in my pocket. Let me see if I can do this. Let me pause this for a second. Come on, watch. Why this shit be taking so long? I need to reset this thing. My goodness, man. I was on a roll. Fuck it, I'll just do it from here. The song doesn't want to stop. It's saying, what's the move? It keeps saying, what's the move? What is the move? What's the move? What move are we making? Here's the man, though. Wait, let me make sure it's the man first. Before I go play some shit. Alright, yeah, it is. I gotta make sure. I might say some wild shit that don't need to be public yet. Alright, here we go.
Fire come for two purposes. Either you purify or you burn out. Some take long to learn, some learn fast. But the race is not for the swift, nor the battle for the strong, but who can endure to the end.
Alright, so he says,
Fire come for two purposes. Either you
fire comes for two purposes.
Purify or you burn out.
You either purify or you burn out.
Some take long to learn.
Some take long to learn.
Some learn fast.
Some learn fast.
But the race is not for the swift, nor the battle for the strong,
but the race is not for the swift, nor is the battle for the strong, but who can endure to the end. The race is not for the swift, nor the battle for the strong, but who can endure into the end. Strength, determination, showing up. Every day, show up. Every day, show up. No matter what. Yeah. This is your reading. This is the collective message. This is... I just now realized that my mouse has a dragon on it. Going back to what we were talking about. You see? You see? There ain't no such thing as fucking coincidence. Synchronicity, again, going back to Carl Jung, he, like I said, grandfather psychology, he talked a lot about the unconscious mind and its powers and the importance of dreams and interpreting dreams. Especially now, if you're clairvoyant, we talked about the dreams are going to be crucial for you. So you got to get a journal next to your bed so you can jot that shit down, or get a recorder that you could just, because you're not going to want to fumble with your phone and the bright light and the, oh, I got to go to this app, unlock the screen, go to the app, go here, swipe there. You don't want to do all that. Get a recorder, you can pull down the button and record, or you can take a pen and a notepad and write down what's going on. There's going to be very, very heavy energy and a lot of vivid dreams. I was talking about last time that, you know, you dream 27 times a night. Some people say, oh, I don't dream. That's not true. You don't remember your dreams, but the average person, the average human, dreams 27 times a night. Oh my gosh. I swear. This is crazy. Somebody in the chat, so the video I was watching before this, somebody in the chat asked the woman, they asked Priestess, what crystal do you recommend? And she said, quartz, clear quartz. She was like, first of all, she was like, because clear quartz is the power, which clear quartz can act as anything. Like if you have the right intention, you know, they say that it's a cleansing stone as well. It's a cleansing stone, but you can also, kind of like how you can use a white candle to represent another, like if you want to do a chakra clearing, and usually you would use a red candle, but you only had a white candle, you can use that white candle, set your intention, And then white is also known to purify as well, purify the space and things like that. So I feel like burning some sage right now. I should burn some sage. Sage is not the only cleansing thing. You can use cedar, you can use palo alto, but I just feel like sage, that light energy, that clear, pure energy, that's what we're looking at right now. So, anyways, I was about to put this in the box. And I flipped it over after y'all saw me playing shuffling it, and we got number 55. So we got 33, 44, 55, baby. All right, they rocking with us tonight or today. Um, yeah, number 10, number 1, intuition, but it says quartz, feminine, seventh chakra, and water. Boom, right there for the people. Yes, sir. So let's read this real quick. Turned right to it. Okay. Number 49 or page 49. So that's 13, which is 4. We back where we started. 55 quartz, feminine, seventh chakra, clear, water. This water energy, man. This emotional energy, man. This cleansing, purifying energy, man. Listen, I am quartz. I am your seer stone. Go within my crystalline rainbow and draw down fire from the heavens to energize and focus your thoughts. I am the amplifier of prayers and wishes, and I am here to help you realize your highest potential. It is a time of communications to transform your knowledge and combine it with universal and spiritual development to balance and counteract negative thought forms in all people. I am the reflection of all that is good. I am crystal. I don't even need to speak after that. 3 hours and 1 minute. We went 3 hours to get that 1 minute. All right. Number 4 again. We went 3 hours to get this 1 minute. Go back and listen to that. Go back and listen to the last hour or 2 hours, and then go back to what I just read. All right. I am your seer stone. Seer, psychic, seeing. We talked about how you see, not with your fucking 2 eyes, but with your third eye. All right. Draw down fire after I just played you that thing about fire that I just earlier I was like, oh, I need to record that. That was on a YouTube video, but I just felt like it was going to be important. Boom. This is psychic energy again. Talking about from the heavens, from your ancestors, to energize and focus your thoughts. I am the amplifier of prayers and wishes. I am here to help you realize your highest potential. After we just sat here and talked about how we weren't living up to what we could have or should have in the star card. And what she talked a lot about as well, she was talking about tapping into our highest spiritual gifts, our true spiritual gifts. And then we talked about Mercury retrograde. It is a time of communications, but we also talked about knowledge. We talked about supreme knowledge, genuine knowledge, where it said to transform your knowledge. It says it right here, that exact word, and combine it with universal and spiritual development to balance. We talked a lot about balance and counteract negative thought forms in all people. Now, we talked about the negativity aspect, but also we talking about counteracting the negative thought forms in all people, meaning your power to influence all people, your power to influence those around you, your power to influence. Rainn Wilson, who played Dwight on The Office, he just put out, I saw a clip of him yesterday talking about the generation under 30. Anybody under the age of 30 is seeing how fucked up the world is. They're seeing how things don't work. They're seeing how healthcare doesn't work. They're seeing how our economics doesn't work, how our politics doesn't work, how our food doesn't work, how our water doesn't work. The system is broken. I told you it's crumbling down. And he was talking about but you have to believe that it's possible. That it's possible that we can get together and change this shit. He said it nicer than me, but you get it. Like, you have to first conceive that it's possible, that we really do make a change, and people that are standing up for justice are making a change. There's no more of this foolishness of the royals passing on their little secrets to their children and working off the back of the slaves, of the servants. You're more than this. Don't let nobody play chess off your back. You're more than this. So there's that. And I am the reflection of all that is good. I am crystal. And I told y'all in the beginning when I first pulled this first card, I said it's like crystal clear water. You need clarity. You need depth. You need to go within to get this shit out. So this is true psychic ability. This is true intuition. This is true. Don't listen to them. There's a lot of people that are afraid to tap in with themselves. How the hell are you afraid of yourself? But there are people out there that are afraid of themselves. And so when you come at them and you say, I know myself well enough that I know you and I know other things too. When you come at them and you say how powerful you are, they want to try to downplay you. You're not crazy. You have psychic ability. Tap into it. The CIA themselves has studied psychic ability. Now, the way that they conducted the experiment was bullshit, but they know what's up too. Russia been fucking experimenting on people with abilities. There's also a lot of covert operations that they don't talk about publicly. Like, it's not falsehoods. They got you believing that your spiritual power is not true. But you can elevate this shit. You can change this shit. You can help other people. Other people need you. You have to tell your story. But hey, I put the wrong thing in the wrong thing. So you do you. You do you. But this has been another rendition. Those are just the instruction cards. This has been another rendition of Serious Intuition. This time I had channeled some shit. And I don't ever usually channel in the middle of the day. But I had, it was important. It was important. So we see you people another day. Because my people left. I'm getting too hyped, too passionate. You know what I'm saying? So I'm going to make this a separate video. I'm going to chop it up. I'm going to chop these 3 hours and 8 minutes. Literally just turned 3 hours and 8 minutes and 4 seconds. 3:08:08 I just saw. I'm going to transform this into several videos. And, your spiritual assignment is to go and look up the numerology of the number 8, figure out the metaphysical meaning of the number 8, and see if you're an 8 life path. That's your responsibility, is to go and look up the numerology of the number 8, especially for this 488 date coming up. And see if you're 8 life path. So those two things. Honestly, when you look up the numerology of number 8, you might be inspired to go and look up your life path anyway. So just go and see. But yeah. Thank you for joining me. Oh shit. Somebody said hello. How are you? Oh man, I didn't have my sound on. So sorry I missed your comment. But we will There we go. We gonna highlight the brother right here. All right. Thank you for supporting me and reaching out and things. That's my bad. I was in the zone. I wasn't here. I wasn't here. But I hope I hope you all enjoyed 309 baby 45. That's my numbers right there. So we're gonna go out on that